Directing traffic. Gonna go deep. Has a man deep. It is caught for the touchdown. Corey Davis.
If he has good technique, he will be elite. If his technique becomes great, not just good, then he's a Hall of Fame. Drive face, full cell vertical, get into the blind spot, and he absolutely burns it. Corner is lost. He literally has no idea where he goes from this. Long, fast, how he approaches the game, how dedicated he is to football. He's ridiculously good. You have to be a stat. It's actual film. It's actual football talk. It's a football show. Should talk football, not storylines.
I think I just now I don't know if I'm having if I'm lagging out a little bit. If I am, just let me know, guys. For whatever reason. But if I am lagging, still freezing. Terrible. There's nothing worse than doing a show and freezing, and I'm talking to nobody. So hopefully it dissipates a little bit. If not, I'm going to reset my router, which will take like 3-4 minutes, which will really suck. But let me know if I keep lagging. I'm going to keep talking to you guys. But it does not show on my screen that I am lagging right now. But so while I'm not lagging, hopefully again it catches a little bit, because I have like 400 megabits per second down or upload, or no, download, and the other one's like 40 upload or whatever it is. So I should be fine. I really don't know why. But today we are going to talk. Okay, seeing some stuff. We're going to be talking a lot of camp stuff, a lot of interesting quotes. I don't necessarily love to look into player quotes and coach quotes, but we're going to take some things away from the Salah presser. We're going to take some things away from the LaFleur. I think Ulbrich had another one. Becton obviously had a presser. Fant made some comments today, or a tweet today, that was interesting. Obviously, we're going to talk about Garrett Wilson. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff. So let's get into it. Let's see who's in here. We're going to talk about a little bit about the Flight 2021, which is going to be, or 2022, which is going to be absolutely awesome. I don't know what you guys are going to do tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. I'm going to be planting my ass on my couch downstairs and watching 5 episodes in a row. I don't know if they're an hour long. I don't know if they're like, I feel like they're going to be like 30, 35, maybe 25 minutes. Anywhere from like 20 to 35, I would guess, would be an episode. So I'm really excited to watch that. Past that, Mets still killing it. Yankees still killing it. I had one guy, I was commenting on the Mets last year, and I was like, oh, they're in second place in the MLB. Or maybe I left out the MLB part. I'm like, oh, they're in second place. He's like, they're up actually by 5.5. They're in first place. Stick to football. I was like, what? Like those type of people just need to just don't send it. Just unsubscribe. That's fine with me. So Mets, Yankees killing it. Rangers out, unfortunately. I've seen that Westhoff is bouncing around a lot, so that's cool. So make sure to support the people who are getting Westhoff. That's awesome. And in terms of guests for this show, some people have asked. I don't really do guests. I don't really love it. I like breaking down film with some guests, but that's really about it. I think during the offseason, in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to have Sabo and Nani on to recap the offseason and stuff, get their opinions, because obviously they appeared on the show more frequently during the season, so we'll get their opinions. And I'm going to get Eric Turner to talk about the Bills. He's probably the best Bills film guy I know. And I'm also going to bring on Travis Wingfield, who is like basically the Miami Dolphins Eric Allen. That's basically who he is. So he's going to come on the stream. You guys can ask him questions. We'll bullshit. I know there will be at least an idiot or two who will say something stupid, but it is what it is. I really couldn't care any less. So again, talk about Wilson, Garrett Wilson, Quincy Williams. Talk about Sauce Gardner. We're going to talk about bunch of stuff. So let's see who's in the chat, though. Hopefully I am not freezing anymore. I'm not showing that on my end. So hopefully it was an early blip, and that was about it. Harold, what's up? Stephen Angle, Monmouth County, what's up? JR, Captain K Techno, what's up? JR would mean a lot. I'm not sure what that means. This is awesome. Get to watch live. Yeah, I feel like you used to be in here a little bit more than you were, Mike. I don't know if that's like a job change or something, but it is nice to have you in here live. Frozen already. Freezing. Yes, I see. Okay, hold on. Let's see. It just jumped to the bottom. Oh, you guys are killing the chat already. Great. Yeah, this show is going to be completely you guys. I'm gonna talk about some stuff in terms of topics and like your opinions. And to be completely honest, I feel like I always try to tread somewhat cautiously. My mouth can get me in trouble. Not really, but I feel like people really hedge their bets when they talk about the Jets and they don't really take a strong stance on some stuff. I feel like I'm going to take some strong stance on some stuff. You guys don't always have to agree with me, especially about opinion stuff like facts. Okay, different story. But there's sometimes, not saying who, but there are some players who I don't necessarily love their personality or love what they're about. But at the same time, if they're going to dominate for the Jets, great. There are some players who I will criticize in terms of them not necessarily performing or being up to snuff, and because Jets fans want to have the brightest kind of like outlook for that player, I'll get shit on for it. But you've seen it with like the Bless Austins and stuff. So I like to throw out some warning signs, discuss them, talk about guys like Mims and be a little bit realistic about his situation last year. And hopefully it really is turning a corner this year, which maybe he is. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But what's up, Socrates? What's up, Jeremy Crowder? What's up, Samuel? Socrates? Yes. Okay. It's working now. What's up, Girth Brooks? First time messenger, long time listener. What's up, Jay? Appreciate that. That's cool. So far, so good. Okay, we're good. Metchat, Pat, what's up? What's up, Nick? Sorry, the first couple minutes I should say what's up to everybody. I like seeing everybody in here. Nice to catch it live for a change. Yeah, what's up, Rob? I think was Rob in one of our fantasy leagues or like pick'em? I forget. You might have been Rob. I always screwed up. I think you're in a or pick'em, right? What's up, Sneakers to Boots? Lloyd, wasn't that a song? I don't know. I got requested. I wasn't gonna wear the Sauce jersey. I wasn't gonna wear the sunglasses because obviously it's 8:00. I had to push it back a little bit, but I did get requested by Buffalo Jets fans to wear the Sauce chain. So the Sauce chain is making another appearance. I just got to make sure. I got to figure out how to twist it a little bit to make sure the Franks is on the front. But I got to clasp it or something. People are calm down. It's a joke. This is like a $15 chain. Kyle busy training for next year's middle school girls basketball season. Yeah, he might step up until freshman girls playing JV high school girls in basketball. But no, Kyle is every other week. He's on here every other week. What's up, West Coast Jets? The Rangers. Listen, I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. I wasn't rooting against the Rangers. I really don't have a lot of ill will towards the Rangers. I don't like the Yankees. I don't like some other New York teams. I don't like the Giants at all. I don't like the Knicks at all. And I know a lot of Rangers fans are Knicks fans. That's the only reason I would want the Rangers to lose. Like, I don't hate the Celtics, but because I know a lot of their fans are Pats fans, I root against the Celtics. So same thing kind of with the Rangers and the Knicks. And I was indifferent to the Rangers. And when they were up 2-0, and I went to my in-laws' house or my wife's family's house, and her uncle and her dad were talking shit about the Devils and how irrelevant they have been, and how much the Rangers show up to the playoffs and all this stuff. And I kind of argue that they consistently disappoint. Who cares if you don't get rings? It doesn't matter if you get to the dance, you got to win, obviously. And they were talking shit about how long Devils want to go and all this stuff. And at that point on, I rooted against the Rangers. So I'm sorry, I apologize, but you guys get it from vice versa. I already struggle with that. I'm the only Jets fan in my entire family. My dad's not a Jets fan. My uncles aren't Jets fans. And then hockey, not a lot of people love the Devils, more obviously with the Rangers, same thing with the Yankees. So I'm always like the little brother team. So yeah, I root against Big Brother, and Rangers are kind of our Big Brother a little bit, I guess, just in terms of popularity, but their fans talk shit like they've actually won something. So Swolzy, I love that Becton took that big bus shirt off his Twitter account, getting in the right headspace. I hope we're going to talk about this in a little bit. To me, I don't love the talk before the proving it type of deal. Like, that's how I've always been. You guys know that. I'm not going to hold, necessarily pull punches with that. You got to wear a shirt saying big bus, lazy, all that stuff on it. Again, not my style. We'll discuss it. If it leads to him really having that motivation, coming in, being a dominant left tackle, right tackle, wherever he's going to play, I couldn't give two shits less if I don't necessarily love the guy, and love the antics and love the quote tweeting and love the shirt. Like, it's not me. I don't like that stuff. I don't. If anything, it turns me off a little bit to the player. But again, every player doesn't have to be my favorite player on the team. Becton's not just based on his personality. He's not going to ever be my favorite player on the team. But hopefully he could use it for actual motivation, and he can have that big year. We'll talk about it a little bit. Some of the quotes, you could take it how you want to. I don't think Saleh necessarily goes out of his way to give Becton a leg up with the media or the fans, in terms of him coming out and basically, you've heard him talk about how Mims is in the best shape of his life and all this stuff already, a couple times, or maybe both him and LaFleur. And you've also heard him praise Zach Wilson a bunch of times in terms of how thick he is and all this stuff. And they asked him about Becton and his shape. and he kind of brushes it aside again and doesn't really answer it. So that on top of like, okay, the quote tweeting stuff, do they care about that? I don't know. Do Douglas see that he's going to interviews with the big bus thing on? Listen, there are some people, great motivation. Okay, I get that. I think that's more younger people, to be completely honest. For me, I know I personally wouldn't love it. Again, I'm more shut up and prove it before you start talking. Which I listen, he did prove it his rookie year. Like let's be honest. Let's be a little bit fair there. He did have a really good rookie year. Unfortunately, he was banged up. Second year, we know the story. It wasn't. I'm not going to get on him about training camp. I don't give a shit. He was losing to Carl Lawson because his rookie year he was losing to Jordan Jenkins. And he had a really big year. So I don't care about that. And he got rolled up on. So year 2 is less of a question. But year 1, we had some questions about injuries, and then obviously you have some of the comments being a little bit sketchy in terms of Saleh and how he speaks about him and doesn't really go out of his ways to praise him, and there's a bunch there. It's gonna be interesting. But Nathan, what's up? Daniel, I don't know. StreamYard has sucked some big ass recently. I'm not gonna lie. It just will jump to the bottom, which is hard for me because I'm always behind. No Kyle today. No Joe B. What's up? Not freezing. Okay, cool. Sauce is showing signs of being a legit number 1 corner. Sauce was showing signs of being a legit number 1 corner at Cincinnati. So smash the like. Appreciate that, Buffalo Jet fan. Reminding you guys to do that. And go and subscribe to him. I was on there a couple of weeks ago. I think he had Jet Central, I think I saw on Twitter that was on there. So make sure to go check out Buffalo Jets fan. Appreciate that. Job change. Okay. What's up, Joe? Great content. Appreciate that. Jay-Z Jets fan. For sure. What's up? Jealous beanbag. Job change. Hopefully for the better. Yeah. Hopefully you got a better job, Mike. Hopefully you're killing it now. Stopping by to say hello, catching the Lightning game. Go Bolts NHL season. Yeah. Congrats to you, Eagle. I messaged. We have that Discord for the subscribers and all that stuff for JetX. And congratulations to you. He's been a Lightning fan for at least a little bit. To be completely honest, you could just be a bandwagon fan. Eagle, I don't think you're that type of fan though. But nonetheless, he's a Bolts fan. So congratulations to the one Bolts fan. Many of us know. Let's see. Okay, moving on. I like Becton saying he's going to make his doubters eat their words. I like the comp. Yeah, it's fine. Again, it's not my style. I like if that was kind of a chosen play on words in terms of him saying he's going to make them hit his words because the whole him eating thing. Was it a play on words? Maybe not. Maybe I'm looking too much into it. I like that kind of going at the media. Like I would like that without the shirt. You know what I'm saying? Like if if they asked him about if they asked him about proving it, whatever the hell the question was, however they labeled it, and he said I'm gonna make the haters kind of eat their words, and then kind of give them like a little smirk or like a little look, just to throw it in there, like kind of excuse my French, but like fuck you guys, because I get it. Like again, I don't love Becton's personality, and I'm kind of on the fence in terms of like people are really with him or really against him. I'm in the middle. Listen, great prospect. Love them coming out. Love them as year 1. We're always going to be a little bit concerned about injuries, even though he didn't have injuries at Louisville or in college. When you're carrying that much weight, there's going to be a natural tendency to get injured a little bit more. So it was always a little bit of a question with Becton. First year, okay. Second year goes down. Yeah, sorry. I think I'm freezing a little bit again. Again, if it keeps doing that, I'm gonna have to reset it. I don't know what's going on with that, but Becton's a big concern. Jay says, it's a health thing, and you hope it's a freak injury, or it was a freak injury, but we can get into so deep into the woods. Okay, 8 to 12 week injury, and now he didn't come to voluntary, so maybe that's why they gave him kind of the an easier path to training this week. But 8 to 12 week injury, and now he's not really taking meaningful reps now in June. Camp starts in a month. He's not ready, or is it because he came back and they're trying to ease him into it? Which one is it? Because that's a while for an injury. And now on top of that, if he's not ready, he's supposed to be competing with Fant for left tackle. What if he can't compete? I want the best man to win. To me, we could talk about that in a little bit too. I think that Fant I think Fant will be the winner. If I had to put my money on it, I think it will be Fant. Again, we'll talk about some quotes that maybe insinuate that for the staff. But Hader Ali, Joe, what's up, brother? This is shaping up to be a very interesting season, to say the least. Much improved roster continuity. Oh, for sure. Where'd you get a sauce chain? I literally order, if you go on, I think it's like Amazon, you just type in sauce chain and you'll get this one. this one, and then the way I found I had to like bend this a little bit, this part. But I literally ordered like a Frank's hot sauce earring, and then just like bent the earring to the chain. That's literally it. So it would Nick Sater. Listen, I'm a Nets fan, and I've been a Nets fan for forever, since, well, not forever, but since I was a kid. Obviously, Jason Kidd, Alonzo Mourning, Kerry Kittles, Richard Jefferson, and then they traded Richard Jefferson for Yi Jing Long and Bobby Simmons, and they sucked ass from there, and they were 12-70 with Devin Smith as their best player. It was just so bad. But yeah, I've been a Nets fan forever, and I don't hate I don't hate the Knicks. I just hate that the Knicks' only argument against the Nets is, oh, well, the Nets are the little brother, and MSG is such a great stadium. That's the only thing they could say, and they just repeat it over and over and over again. If you guys have been following me for a while, you've probably seen a drunk Twitter rant or two about the Knicks. So I've had a few of those. So Harold says, I love Becton, but he did not look like he was in great shape. Hopefully he's in good shape by the time. Listen, with a guy that heavy, for him to be sweating out dog days in camp, I'm not worried about the weight. I'm really not. I think he can get that off pretty easily for a guy that size. Again, a lot of it's water weight. If you're 370, you can drop to 365 or 360 pretty easily. So I don't want to get into the hate here. Rangers are playing every single May. So yeah, they play every May, and and they're not playing in any Junes. So let's see. let's see. Okay, we keep moving on. Late 90s, early so yeah, that is true. They were stacked with Ravolsky and Scott Stevens, obviously Brodeur, Eliash. They had a bunch of really good players. Really good players. So if healthy, we have a nice three-headed monster for our O-line, Becton, Tomlinson, AVT. And like past that, Dakota, it's not, Fant's no scrub. Like I think Fant can legitimately and probably will win the left tackle job. And that's the thing too. Like if they're not feeling overly confident in Becton, like what is their pulse on Becton right now? Because now you have an interesting situation where Becton's injury, how is he coming back? And George Fant, which we'll talk about again in a little bit, is like now he's sending out some tweets in terms of I think he said like it must be nice or something like that, replying to Minka Fitzpatrick getting a bunch of money. So you have a guy who wants money. Becton, who's a question mark. And we talked about it with Fant last week. Kyle and I said we think he's going to get around $14-15 million, and I think you do that. Like, and people might think that that's a little bit of a crazy price, but you have to consider with that future years he's going to be getting paid that money, $14-15 million. The cap is going to shoot up. It shot up this year. It's going to shoot up next year. It's going to shoot up the year after that. So you have to consider that as well. And like, look at some of these tackles who are decent in the NFL, like the contracts they get. And I know obviously there's inflation and stuff like that in the NFL when the price goes up for all the teams, but like, how much did Jack Conklin get a couple of years ago? Conklin, in terms of his play versus Fant's play is not that much of a difference. I think they're both plus average guys, but they're not superstars. I think that's a kind of a relative, that's a range for him. I think that's what he is as a left tackle. If not, maybe even a little bit better. Now, right tackle, I think there's a little bit of a dip, but you have to weigh him and the change going to the right side and Becton and how much of a transition is going to be for him. Who wins it off the bat, because we can't be going into August not knowing who the right tackle, left tackle is going to be. Like, it's going to have to figure itself out pretty quickly. And the coaching staff kind of insinuate that a little bit. So let's see. Again, StreamYard is being a nice little bitch tonight. Who else is in? There's a bunch of guys. Sorry if I didn't say hello to everybody, but there's a bunch. Jets gang, what's up? True, but Salad did say Becton looks good, better than nothing, I guess. Yeah, it's he's not gonna say he looks terrible. I guarantee you that Mackay getting into it with Twitter trolls ain't Sal or JD style. Yeah, Buffalo, and that's kind of what it is. Like, listen, man. I get the whole he's a 21-year-old kid, 22-year-old kid, whatever he is. It's not my style. I personally don't like it. I can tell you that. And I think a lot of people kind of hedge their bets and won't really say that about a player. And again, he doesn't have to be my favorite player. I'm a root for him every single day of his life when he's a Jet. But who's to say it's not childish? That's your personal opinion. I think it's childish. I don't like it. Do Salah and JD feel the same way? Is that, in terms of the locker room they're building, and I'm not saying he's a problem at all. I'm just saying they want a really specific guy. Is he exactly their flavor? Maybe he's he's a good flavor. He's not a great flavor. Like they love, Sauce's mentality and Reed and all these guys. And I'm just throwing out, I'm not saying that's the truth. I'm just kind of throwing it out there. It's not my style. It's not theirs. Do I amuse you, Jets Chaos? Yes. Jeremy with his hot sauce. Let's see. So happy we drafted Sauce at 4. He's looking good. He's going to look good. He's going to have his bump. He's going to have his ups and downs. I'm going to be really interested to see how they deploy him initially. Do they put him on the one? Do they put him on the backside of 3x1 sets? So he's basically in a combo coverage and he's going to lock the backside. I think that he can do that eventually, but is it going to be read it first? I think he's definitely going to start. That's for sure. So, what can you be better than what you're doing? Let's see. I definitely agree. The Twitter stuff is a big distraction that the Jets brass doesn't. Again, how much stock do you put into like a distraction? If he goes out there and he balls and he plays well and he's playing well and he stays healthy, it's not much of a distraction. Who gives a shit? Okay, we don't love his Twitter stuff. So I think his play could completely kind of dissipate what anybody thinks about his Twitter stuff. But again, I just don't prefer it. I'm much more like I like those David Harris, Jericho Cotchery, Nick Mangold, DeBrickashaw Ferguson, like just let your talking be through your play type guys. I don't like the whole Twitter stuff. I'm just not I'm an old, I guess I'm an old soul at 29. I just don't. It's not the biggest thing. Let's see. Sauce seems to have that really good recovery speed and length. When you have a guy with both those traits, recovery speed, breaking ability, length, and ball skills, even if he's beat, he can get that pick and get that pass deflection. So. Love Becton strictly off what he said to Rich Cimini. So we're gonna talk about some of the interviews today. I didn't hear Becton, Zach Wilson, Garrett Wilson, and Elijah Moore, but I heard all the other ones, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So sneakers and boots. At least Becton said he's open to playing the right side. I think he sees the writing on the wall. He ain't playing left tackle. He also played right tackle at Louisville too, and there was drives or games where he would switch from left tackle to right tackle. So it's not like he's never played there. ABT. Basically not like bit the bullet, but he said he'd be completely fine with switching to the right side. Why shouldn't Becton? And I think Salah kind of mentioned this, by the way. He said that a lot of people are asking about Becton and winning that left tackle job, and this not verbatim, but Salah basically came out and said like it's a discredit to Fant, like how well Fant played last year. He played well. He's a team captain. Again, he's what 29, 30 years old, and he's a young 29, 30 years old with plenty of years left. Of productive play, top level play for him because of how late he came to one, be a starter, and two, just the game of football. So listen, I'm completely fine with Fant playing left tackle and Becton playing right tackle. I think ideally you want Becton to win that job because you want him to be here for 10 years. You want him to win that, to really show that he's on that upward trajectory. That's fine. But I think the staff right now is probably favoring Fant. So Becton has to answer questions from the beat guys who he hates. I have to answer questions for plenty of people I hate, and I get paid a lot less to do it, but I have to do it. It's part of it. It is what it is. Becton's Twitter name change. I don't know what that is. Run the Ethernet cable. I will. So I have to figure out how to do it. I'm just have to run it through a wall, drill a hole, and get like a 100-foot wire and put it up and through. I'm just have to figure out how to exactly get it done. So, what's the deep to these throwbacks? So again, I just had to find a topic for the show. But in terms of the throwbacks, obviously Woody Johnson comes out and he tweets that video. I forget exactly what the video was, but it was the Jets like classic like 80s helmets with the Jets with the little swoosh thing, which to me is the cleanest Jet kind of look. A lot of the new the new logos since when they changed it, like 2000 or no, even earlier than that, 1990s, in the late 90s, early 2000s. Again, I was like 7, 8 years old, so I forget exactly when they changed it to the uniforms they had with like Darnold and Harris and all those guys. And those uniforms were good, like the ones they had with the 2009, 2010. But when they made the switch from, was it Nike to Reebok or Reebok to Nike? I think it was we had Reebok initially, right? It was Reebok, and the green was more like full and dark. And when it went to Nike or vice versa, it got like faded, like a faded kind of shitty green. Like I like the Hunter green over the Kelly green, to be completely honest. So I wanted to stick with that, but I would love for an alternate helmet. Because it looks like you can have alternate helmets this year. Maybe the Jets have an alternate helmet with white helmet with the Jets or with the green logo, or green to white face mask, green face mask. I don't know, but I love that logo, and I think that should be the logo. Right now it's the oval with the Jets with the football. Like it's not really that creative. I think just being the classy Jet swoosh incorporates the Jet. It's really clean looking. I like it. I don't like it's kind of stupid. Our logo now. I don't really. It's not the best. Now the uniforms are great. If you could have the uniforms of like 2009 with the jet swoosh, like that type of deal. Because I don't love these current uniforms. I don't love the helmets. I don't love the design of like the cuts on the jerseys and things like that. So maybe they change it eventually. I don't know. But let's see. Becton's Twitter name change shirts comment are all immature in my opinion. Just go about your business, and that's how you prove everyone wrong. Yeah, wrong. Raw power. I'm with you. I am. That's my flavor. That's again freezing. If he's gonna be a little bit immature and do that, and he dominates, who gives a shit? Like I couldn't care any less. At the end of the day, I want him to be successful in the field. I don't really have to necessarily follow him on Twitter. I don't follow him on Twitter. I don't really care that much. But it just puts a little bit more pressure on you that I don't necessarily think you need to do. Larry, what's up? Hey, Blewett, are you going to the season opener? Yes, I will be at the season opener. I will probably be at like 5 or 6 games total at home. Obviously, working midnights, it could be difficult to get off of work at 8 o'clock in the morning, to go to a Jets game, and then go back that night. But I'll be off for at least 5 or 6 of them, and then I plan 1,000% and going to Green Bay. I already took my vacation days for that, and then I'm going to 95% chance I'm going to Minnesota. I want to go to Seattle, but January 1st, I'm not really about it. So I'm gonna go to Minnesota. I think it's like December 12th or whenever that game is, but that'll be my other one. So Green Bay, Minnesota, Ravens, and then the first couple home games I'm gonna have to miss because I'm gonna be in Italy, which is what Bengals, Dolphins. I think I'm missing, so something like that. You're right, man. Fan is a beat. He's good. And that's one guy I can attach my name to him because nobody liked him when he first got signed. I actually did. So keep moving on. Again, that's not a lot of money for what the market is now and how much money is in the NFL. I think he would sign a contract around $15 million a year. Would I be willing to go 16? Maybe. I would say right around 15 is where I'm willing to go. So Simon, our wide receiver core is looking like a real strength, although it is a passing camp right now. Yeah, it's gonna look strong right now. Again, you don't have Carl Lawson, Jermaine Johnson, Vinny Curry, Josh Martin, or I would say Jacob Martin, breathing down the quarterback's neck to make it a little bit more difficult. To me, I would like to bring in another veteran wide receiver. I think people think I'm a little bit crazy for that. Again, obviously the number one need on the team for me right now is, again, not in a vacuum, is offensive tackle. You cannot screw around if Becton gets hurt, if Fant gets hurt, having Max Mitchell or Chuma Dogo out there for Wilson. So that's my number one need. Again, in a vacuum though, linebacker is a bigger need. I would say D tackle is a bigger need. I would say even maybe safety is a bigger need than offensive tackle just individually, but considering Zach Wilson, get that tackle, hopefully get that linebacker, hopefully get, that D tackle, whether it be, Ogunjobi, Sue is still out there. There's still some D tackles out there. So I would like to see those filled. And then past that, like more of like the fourth and the fifth need for me are safety, get another backup safety, and then receiver. Maybe they waited out a little bit with Mims, and if Mims really is impressing and they think he could be there 4 or 5, okay, then let's roll with Mims. That'd be fucking awesome, But to me, if Mims is what Mims was last year, okay, you're 4 deep, and injuries are going to happen. Obviously, we don't ever want to see the injuries. We've been absolutely friggin' brutalized with them. But if you have an injury, we really want Barrios to be the number 3. Garrett Wilson, listen, we all think he's going to be great. What if he's not? I'm trying to be realistic here. Every pick doesn't work out. What if he's not great? Or not even not great? Like maybe he's great in year 2 and 3. What if he takes some time to adjust? Corey Davis goes down pretty early. Garrett Wilson's struggling, and then Barrios, is he the answer? So I would like some depth. Like last year, we were 5 deep, obviously, or really 6 deep if you look at it, because going into the year, obviously not Monday morning quarterbacking the situation. We liked Corey Davis. We liked Elijah Moore. We loved Denzel Mims at that point. We liked Crowder. We liked Cole, and we liked Barrios. So, even like a Keelan Cole, obviously, I think he went to the Raiders, maybe. But like even like a signing like that, like a level, like a guy of a level like that who could be like your 5 or 6, I would like that. But maybe they're waiting for Mims. So What's up, NY Sports Wicker Media, which I have not seen before. But what is up, Wicker Media? Eggs jumped like gas for real. Are eggs expensive now? I don't know. George or Georgia, are you doing call-in today? I don't. Maybe it depends on how quickly I get through my topics. I haven't really been doing them because I feel like I just flow with you guys in the chat a lot. But maybe we'll do them. Maybe we'll do them. So to be fair, when Fant was on the right, he had GVR inside of him. He should. Yeah, that's true, completely true, Rob, and that's a good point. And a lot of people don't necessarily always like quantify that when they're thinking about guys. Like even McGovern, last year was playing next to a rookie in ABT and GVR and like Feeney when he would come in. And even the year before that, like who were the guards, So when you have guys next to you who are struggling and who are not going to pick up the stunts properly, and et cetera, who you can't rely on, it's going to hurt you. So great point. Is Fant going to be a lot better with GVR next to him with a little bit more experience, or Fant with GVR next to him, or Fant with ABT next to him with a little bit more experience? Just starting in general in the NFL. So all I do is try to put Blewett to a Twitter war, but you don't bite. What are you talking about? Jeremy, a couple of years ago, I would have bit, but I'll like get tagged in something like, oh, well, check out Blewett's review on Sauce. He says differently. And then I'll see like a bunch of tweets. I'm like, I know if I respond one time, I'm going to get somebody's going to respond like 13 times. And then I won't respond and I'll give them the justice. Like they'll think they're right. And I just can't do that. So I just won't respond at all. Alex Hunt, what's up? The Wicker Man. Who's the Wicker Man? I don't know who the Wicker Man is. Just hearing Elijah Moore quotes make me want to run. Yeah, I saw a couple of them, Wicker Media, in terms of he speaks. You're right. Like you can't even really like put your finger on it, but just the way he speaks, he's like so confident in his ability. He's so confident in the team. And I saw some of them, but I want to watch the full. How long is the interview? 8 minutes, 10 minutes, 12 minutes? I don't know, but I'm going to watch it. I just unfortunately didn't have enough time, but I'll take some notes and stuff. But Elijah Moore is that like, okay, that's the type of guy who I like the way he kind of like how he presents himself. And how he is, where Becton's kind of, a little bit of the opposite. I would say Moore puts himself out there more than obviously guys like who I referenced before, like, David Harris and et cetera. But also some of those guys I'm referencing also didn't have what Twitter was nowadays. MySpace wasn't that huge. So when those guys were playing, let's see. Any issue with spending more money on Braxton than the Bills did on Jameson Crowder? I know Crowder was hurt last year, but who is a better receiver? NJZ. Again, I'm not gonna, I'm never gonna lie. Crowder's a better receiver than Berrios. I think at this point, Berrios is a better gadget guy, which I think they will use him in many ways in terms of the gadget game. But straight up as a slot receiver, Crowder's a better receiver. He is now. But with that being said, he's more injured, and obviously Berrios offers you a ton more on special teams than Crowder does. So you're paying Berrios a lot of. His contract is special teams. So like he's getting what? Don't kill me, but like $7 million off the top of my head, right? 7.5. You figure that $5 million of that is his special teams value, and the other 2 or 3 is his slot receiver value. So Crowder, I think, is. It's not. I think he is the better slot receiver, or he was at least last year. Now maybe with injuries, could have Berrios have improved? That'd be better than him, sure, but. Yeah. So, NJ. Okay. No Kyle tonight. No, Kyle is. You guys know this. Every other week. So, I do think Becton could be a good to great right tackle. No one is saying a word about Wirfs saying he sucks because he plays right tackle instead of left tackle. Right tackles are. Yeah. To be completely honest, like the whole thing with like the whole Wirfs pick is. Look, if we were all in here, 105 plus me, 106. If we were all being 1,000% honest, would we go back in time and switch it to the Wirfs? Probably, because then you're completely avoiding the Fant thing at right tackle. He was signed here to be a left tackle when he was initially signed. That's what he thought he was going to play. They draft Becton, he moves, and people kind of say, oh, well, they wanted to draft Becton because they wanted to have a left tackle. Well, they had Fant, so why would they sign Fant to a $10, $11, $12 million deal if they didn't have confidence in him? So they could have just as easily drafted Wirfs. Is what it is. But yeah, I think people overemphasize the value of left tackle versus right tackle. If you have a killer right tackle, that's awesome. If you have a killer left guard, Quentin Nelson, that's awesome. If you have killer centers, like Kelsey, it's fucking awesome. Like people over a good offensive lineman is a good offensive lineman. Yeah, you prefer it probably in order. I would probably say left tackle, right tackle, center, left guard, right guard. But yes, right tackle is fine with me. What's up, JB? What's up, Yoshi? Love the 80s look. I hope that's what they do. Yeah, I'm really hoping that that's what they do too. I would like the 80s look with a more current green, with a more hunter green than the Kelly green. I think the Kelly green every once in a while will be cool. I don't love it always. Yeah, Wicker Media's with me. Kelly green, best green. Again, I like it. I like the hunter green better though. It's just like too neon. Like I like what it is now. Even the green, like the shininess on the green, a little bit too much for me, to be completely honest. I used to like the white helmets. I like white helmets better than green helmets, but that is what it is. So I can help you out with what materials and logistics with the Ethernet if you let me know. Okay, cool. Hey Joe, if we roll with the helmets in the thumbnail, I'll be thrilled. I don't know what the thumbnail is. Robbie does that. I'm not good with editing stuff, but I do. They are nice, as long as the green pants are burned. When they wear the pickle pants, they suck. All green or even white on green are both terrible to me. I rather wear all green than white on green. And obviously we've sucked for so long it doesn't really matter. Like the winning percentages in each jersey are terrible, but we lose more in the green pants, the white. This logo is the best Jets logo. Yeah, the one you're sharing, 100%. That's what should be on the helmets, Evan. It's very clean, and it incorporates the Jet. I don't like what it is now. I just really don't. So 110 watching, less than 10 likes. That is brutal. Brutal, PCR. I appreciate you pointing that out. That is rough. That is rough. So funny, a month ago I tweeted about Woody changing back to that logo and it got deleted. You tweeted. How did your tweet get deleted? 40 likes now. Appreciate that. What's good, Joe? I see you, Verge. Verge, I'm going to let you know. I think somebody asked me last week about the fantasy league and the pick'ems. I'll let you know soon. Again, I'm going to basically, I can't remember everybody off the top of my head who was in the fantasy league. We had 18 people. 18 people was way too much. It was like hard to get like one guy on the bench who would even see a rep if your guy went down an injury and you pick him up on waiver. So I'm going to drop the bottom, I think 6 people. Yeah, drop the bottom 6 people. And I'm going to add probably 2 to 4. And then we'll probably eventually land on 12 people total. And I'm going to drop like the bottom 4 every year because I want to give people opportunity to play new people. I don't want to just keep the same people, even though I like you all, but that's kind of unfair a little bit. So Verge, what's up? Another $2 contribution to the computer fund. I appreciate that. I'm going to get one. It's going to have much better memory. It's going to be much quicker. I will be able to draw on the screen. I need to figure out how to do that. I need to have a pen. I need to be able to circle guys, draw coverages, draw running lanes, draw vision, draw where I think his eyes are, draw everything. Circle hips and feet and angles. Like, I can't wait. Maximilian, big. Okay. So we don't think Jeff Smith will be Jerry Rice this year. So listen, he's having a nice camp. So did Salim Hakeem. So did Clyde Yates and all these guys. And, I appreciate that he's doing well. And I think he could be a number 6 number 6 receiver, but has he shown us enough in the last 2 or 3 years he's been a Jet that he deserves playing time? And last year, correct me if I'm wrong, Wicker Media, he played versus the Broncos, right? And he had like 2 or 3 drops. So it's not, I think he was relatively valuable in terms of his ability to take the ball and like jet sweeps and end arounds and things like that, and throw the ball as a former quarterback, but past that as an actual receiver. What value is he providing? Like, I'd much rather have, again, a Keelan Cole level player, whoever we're gonna say that is in free agency right now. D Santana, hey, hello, Blewett, great show. I see you got another Twin Lights t-shirt on. I have like 7 of them myself. Yeah, that was you. Yeah, the Twin Lights ride. Obviously, Twin Lights is in the town I grew up in and work in. So, yes. Hey Joe. Hey mess. Jets mess. Okay, keep moving on, and I'm gonna get to some of the other topics in the queue. But I want to talk to you guys first because you guys are important, because you guys drive the solo show. Because if I didn't have you guys, I would literally talk here for 10 minutes and then bounce. Joe, it's me. Why 2K? Oh, cool. Okay, yeah. No, I remember that name, and you're I remember you with Green Bean too. So I remember seeing you a couple times. So go check him out. So you started doing your own videos and rebranded. So go check out Wicker Media. I'll check out one of your videos, Wicker Media. So make sure to go check out Y2K. Y2K? Is that what it is? Y2K, or is it Y2K? 2K99? I don't know. Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah, I should have seen that. I should have been more attentive. Barrios got 2 for 12. Okay, $6 million. That's my fault. I was thinking $7 million. I don't know why. investing in $7 million. Watch JJ and Clemens be a huge part of our future down the road. So some updates about the reviews. It's just how it works sometimes. Some months I'm busier than others. Brees Hall dropped. I am recording a Garrett Wilson review with Marcus Coleman on Sunday. Tomorrow I'm recording Jeremy Ruckert. Saturday I'm recording Jermaine Johnson, I believe. And then I'm going to get Michael. I'm already working on Michael Clemens. I'll get Max Mitchell right after that. And then Tomlinson, Reed, Uzama, Conklin are going to fly out after that. I'll have Jacob Martin. I'll have Solomon Thomas. I'll have Nate Herbig. I'll have Whitehead. I'll have Reed. There's going to be film is going to be pushed down your throat if you want it. So Rolandello, what's up? God damn it. I don't know why it just keeps jumping to the bottom of the freaking chats. It's really pissing me off. Okay, hold on. Sorry. Not the best, but that is StreamYard screaming, not me doing it. Nothing better than the current green helmets. They pop like nothing else on a sunny day. Really, I like the white helmets. I like the white helmets of the past. I think they're clean. The green helmets are. I like them. They're a little bit too shiny for me. They give me a little bit of like a college, like Oregon type feel. And everybody's not going to share their opinions about that. But like, I don't like the jerseys. I don't like the design. I like the old design, like the two stripes going down on the shoulder pads. There's two stripes, right? Like it's just more classic, more clean. This one's it's okay. It's okay. I like the white. I like the black. I don't love the green that they have. I don't love the green ones. Thanks from Daniel Faust. Thank you, Daniel Faust, for the $5 super chat. Just saying thanks. Okay. Yeah, he contributed. Okay. Joe, why don't you JetX guys do 2 leagues conferences of 12 people that merge at the end for Super Bowl? You and Kyle would run one league and yeah, but is that possible? Does anyone know how to do that? Can you run? How do you run 2 12-person leagues and then merge at the end unless you do 2 separate leagues and then at the end of it all, you just track the points. You do the same scoring systems, and whoever wins it all wins it all. I guess you could do that. And you have players like repeat, like trading players, or people having the same players on different teams. I guess that could work. I guess it could, right? I don't know. Maybe I'd have to ask really the consensus if you guys would want to do that. If I have enough for freaking that many people, then sure. But I don't know. So. Supposedly Pinnock is flashing and playing with the ones. Is it possible having a full offseason safety help him improve? I think that goes to kind of without saying, Jay, that having a full season, 1, just in the NFL, and 2, at a new position, you're going to improve than when you just got thrown into the fire in a rookie year. Now, the thing with Pinnock is, and I've shown you guys before, and I will show you again if I need to. I really don't want to. But these games that he played at safety where people saying he's playing well, he did not play well. I've shown it. I broke it down. It is out there. Those 2 plays that he broke up Trevor Lawrence's pass, if those plays were on time, he got absolutely burned. He showed to be well in that play or do well in that play because the broadcast angle showed him breaking up the play when he was completely toasted. He got lucky. The ball was lobbed up there. So he could recover, which good recovery, cool, good hit. But the process versus results. The result was okay, hit out. The process was he got burned and was late to get there. But could his physicality work? Could his athleticism work at safety? Sure. Am I betting on him to be one of the 4 safeties who makes it right now? Gun to my head, probably not. You have Joyner, you have Whitehead. I would put, I don't know if Ashton Davis makes it. I think then past even above Pinnock, I think it's a combination to make it. I think you have Ashton Davis, you have Will Parks, and you have Elijah Riley, who I think are probably above Pinnock. And again, people, oh my God, well, he's starting. What are you talking about? Isaiah Dunn was starting early in camp last year too, and he barely saw that. He saw like 2 reps the entire season. So don't go crazy. And at the beginning, Joyner, I'm pretty sure Joyner was out the first couple of practices as well. So NJZ, an article on Just X Factor last year argued our defensive scheme was outdated and has only ever worked with elite talent. What are your thoughts? It worked a lot with the Niners when they were making their runs. The Seahawks, yeah, it worked when they had you can argue that for a lot of systems. I'd have to read it and really see what exactly it's quoting or identifying as, our defensive scheme was outdated. I think if you're thinking the Jets are just playing cover 3 Seattle system, then you're wrong, because they're playing a lot of cover 1. As we know, I think one of the highest teams in man coverage in general, and like if not number one, like number 2 or 3 in terms of man coverage on third down in the NFL. So they're going to run man coverage, and a lot of their other coverages. Yeah, there's cover 3, there's cover 2 in there, and there's also plenty of cover 4, cover 6. So it's not like they're just running cover 3 strictly like they did with the Seahawks. So if that's what the article is saying, again, I don't remember every article that's posted there. We have like over 30 writers now. But yeah, if you're just running strict cover 3, sure. But there's a lot more to it now with cover 4 and 6 and mixing some quarters and, all that stuff. Joe going to be dancing on that Microsoft Surface once he scrunches up all the super chats. I got to get some stuff. Unfortunately, we have a house, like, I'm doing vinyl fencing. Vinyl fencing is like $9,000. I have to get AC still, which I have like a wall unit, but I still need like a real one. You guys know that's like $5,000 to $10,000. I want a porch for like $20,000. So the computer's not on the forefront right now in terms of stuff I need to do to my house that I just moved into last year. But I will get a computer soon. I need to just throw some like overtime money on the side just to do that. So was going to be like Madden drawing on the screen during games, how they made football so relatable and easy to understand. Well, I appreciate that one, even just throwing my name in that. Obviously, it's more of a joke, Sneakers Boots. But yeah, obviously legend. And if I could just draw like him, that'd be perfect. So hell yeah, man. Your show and Jake's show are my 2 favorite Jets streams, no doubt. Appreciate that a lot. Hey, anytime I could be in your top 5, top 10, even if I'm in your just watched, as long as you watch, you appreciate it. I appreciate you. There's a lot of great content out there. Everybody has their flavor, their preferences, but if you're going to tune in, great. I could be the 8th in the lineup. I'm cool with that, but I appreciate it nonetheless. So what is it called? My StreamYard just jacked me up again. Okay, just moving on. Sorry. Give me a second. 8:47. We're almost. Oh, okay, that's why I'm almost there. All right. They should go 80 second change styling with the current shade of green and metallic. Oh, no black though, Tommy. I like the black. I get like in terms of like the clean, classy type stuff. The black jerseys are not Jets, but they are so nice. I really like the black jerseys, and like I'm not a closet Eagles fan at all. I really did like Brian. Not Brian. I was gonna say Brian Westbrook. Brian Dawkins is my favorite player ever, just because that's just is what it is. And seeing him like in the black Eagles jerseys and things like that, or the darker Eagles jerseys, like I like that darkness with the green as well. It really appeals to me. So I wouldn't get rid of the black, but I would agree that the styling should change. So Aaron Butler, Lamar the Great is 37-12, not 2 losing. See you week 1. Oh, Ravens fan. Okay. I don't know if you're a troll Ravens fan or you're actually a Ravens fan who wants to talk. I'm worried about the Ravens, to be completely honest. Like you guys know, I'm never going to lie. There's a couple things. One, the Ravens were the most injured team of like all time last year, and they were still relatively competitive. So they have a really good team. The Jets struggled in terms of just containing the run game, and the Ravens are one of the best, if not the best running teams in the NFL. And 2, or 3, I think 3 now. The Jets are running a lot of these light camps, and we run a lot of light camps, a lot of 7-on-7, a lot of passing stuff. If you're not going to bang a little bit in camp and in preseason times, might take a week or 2 to adjust the tackling, and you have to adjust the tackling to be a little bit rusty. And Lamar Jackson's coming into town with Jake and Dobbins and some of those guys they have. Sketchy. It is sketchy. I'm hoping the Jets can pull some out of their ass in terms of just running a lot of DBs out there, and they can contain Jackson. But I am concerned. I am concerned about the Ravens. They're good. They're good. So I'm not overlooking the Ravens, and obviously, I'm hoping that he's not overlooking the Jets, because anything can happen week 1. And the Jets have also been one of the most injured teams, not just last year, but over the last 4 years. It's been brutal. Like, we signed Mosley. Mosley comes out, is literally dominating his first game. Dominating. It's one of the most dominant games, if not the most dominant 3 quarters I've seen from a player. Being personally out of game, that might be a little bit of an overstatement, but somewhere up there. He's somewhere up there. I'd really go down and think of all the games I've been to. Dominating. I think we were up, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, 18-0, 16-0, 18-0, something like that. And then Vedvik missed 2 or 3 kicks, and then we lost like 19-18 after Mosley went down, like late third quarter, because he was covering, was it John Brown in Tampa 2, and he made a pass deflection on a receiver 40 yards down the field, and he tore his groin. And past that, and we were the highest team in terms of money on the IR that year. Seem to do that every like 20 minutes where it just freezes twice and it kind of calibrates. So what that is. Matthias Simon, no one breaks down film like you on these shows, Joe. Our linebackers are concerning me. What say you? So I appreciate that one, Matthias. I always don't know if I'm saying it. I always say Matthias or then Matthias, and I always feel like I'm fucking that up. I don't know why I can't say that name. It's just because I'm an idiot, I guess. But one, I appreciate that. Two, I'm concerned. Like, listen, I get that Quincy Williams was never really a full-time starter. So could he improve? Sure, he can improve. But even if Quincy Williams is that next guy, like he is, okay, he's an awesome starter. Not an awesome starter. Let's be realistic. He could be a decent starter. If he is, cool. He'll have his splash plays, he'll have his plays where he maybe is a little bit too aggressive, but overall he averages out to even. That would be fantastic for a waiver wire pickup. We know that. But past that, Hamza, Sherwood, I didn't like the Sherwood pick at all, to be completely honest. I don't like his athleticism, even at linebacker. I feel like he's not a good athlete, so I don't love that pick. But with that being said, they were safeties adjusting to a completely new game in terms of just the NFL and then moving to linebacker. So could they be taking steps forward? Sure. That's also the optimistic point of view. You could also just as easily say they're only special teams guys, they suck, and they shouldn't be relied on to see major snaps. And that's kind of, I'm not saying they suck, but I would rather have them prove it to me in year two and have them as their, as the fourth, fifth, sixth linebacker than have one of them be the 3 or the 4. If Mosley goes down and it's Sherwood, Quincy Williams, and then, hey, let's say they start running 12 personnel, 13 personnel, they were sorting heavy sets, and you have to bring in a third guy, and that's Marcel Harris, bro. Come on. So they need to bring in another linebacker. It's, and listen, I know all the guys have their faults who are still out there, Deion Jones, Quan Alexander, but if it would make me feel somewhat more comfortable. Like, okay, maybe they could be a decent group. And I think maybe they could be, but a lot of people just reference, oh, well, it's Quincy Williams and Mosley. Yeah, what happens if they run 12 personnel? Who was that third guy? Do you want Sherwood or Hamza seeing a bunch of reps? Again, we could be optimistic and say, okay, those guys are developing and their background at linebacker. We also thought that Gerard Davis, that was kind of his reason. Oh, well, he's not good, but they have that experience. Let's put their faith in him. Gerard Davis was the biggest bust signing that they had last year, obviously minus injuries. But that was he was terrible. So they could just as easily play well or absolutely suck. I like Hamza. I like Hamza coming out of Florida State, but I'm not relying on him. No way. So they need to sign somebody to me. So Dakota black jerseys have been my favorite unis. They are nice. If we don't go throwback this season, we should wear black for every. They're never going to do that because obviously Jets green. I like the black, but you can never replace the green. I really hope they add an alternate because we had the years of alternate, the throwbacks with the Kelly greens which I didn't love. When they did them with the Bills, that was what 2015 was that 15 or 16? 15 or 16. Didn't love those. And then you had obviously the Titans throwbacks, which are okay. I don't hate them. Some people hate them. I think they're okay. But I really, really want to see, and whether it be Kelly, I don't love the Kelly, but I would like to see some new implementation of the current greens with the 80s logo. Kind of like the Nets, if you watch basketball, like the City Edition, like they kind of like ode to the past, but kind of new, but kind of bring the colors back, like kind of that thing. I would like that. So please, no lime green ever. Yeah, Seahawks, disgusting. And I don't, again, the jerseys that they had in 2016, that Kelly green, it was too bright. Too bright. So keep moving to the chat. I appreciate you guys for blowing the chat again. I had topics. I'm like, I'm hoping I can talk for 2 hours, which usually I can talk to a fucking wall for 6 hours. But you guys filled the chat, which helps me out a lot. So Yoshi says, I did enjoy seeing the white jersey with the black combo we wore last year against the Colts. Yeah, that was after, correct me if I'm wrong, that was after Woody Johnson tweeted out that we're really wearing the white with the greens, and fans berated him on Twitter, and he changed. He's like, no, okay, well, we're going to wear white and black, right? And they got blown out. I don't think that's terrible, but I don't necessarily, and I might be wrong, but off the top of my head, the white jerseys don't have anything on the sides, and then it leads into the black pants with that green little like stripe. So you have a white jersey leading into coming out of nowhere stripes on the side. I don't love that about the jersey pants, but right, unless I'm wrong, unless I'm just thinking something. I don't think so. So, true. 16-0. Aaron Butler, Marlon Humphrey, Marcus Peters, Kyle Fuller, Marcus Williams, Kyle Hamilton, Chuck Clark, legendary second and no. Yeah, I think Aaron. Again, I'm hoping I'm not a troll. I'll always be realistic. I think the Ravens they're going to have it, and that's what they're going to make their money on. Obviously Rashad Bateman, how does he progress? And then you have one of the better running games in the NFL. And then I think on paper right now, I would really like to go through the secondaries in the NFL, but off the top of my mind, gun to my head, I think they have the best secondary in the NFL. Marcus Peters, obviously, really good and a playmaker. Marlon Humphrey is one of the better corners in the NFL. Probably a little bit overlooked. Kyle Fuller, a really solid guy from the Bears. Marcus Williams, one of the better safeties in the league. Kyle Hamilton, rookie. Okay. We'll see what happens with him. Aaron, I'm not the highest on Kyle Hamilton. I think he's overhyped, but I think where you got him at 14, 15, that's much more. I was much more willing to take him in that range than I was at 4 or 10 for the Jets personally. But for you guys, okay, cool. Kind of rounding out the defense. Chuck Clark, I feel like he's more of a leader than he is like a true great player still, but still a very solid, just like role player. So yeah, it's really good. It's really good. So Jets fans can't. Am I freezing again? I didn't think I froze. Better Call Saul. Hey brother Joe, big fan of the stream. Wondering what your thoughts are. If we should get rivalry for the backup tackle. 1,000% yes. Now, if I watch him versus Eric Fisher versus, Darrell Williams versus whoever, I might prefer one guy to the other. I obviously am not going to watch those guys unless they're signed. I don't have enough time to do that. This is not my full-time job. Maybe one day it will be. You never know. When I'm retired, when I'm 50, this might take over as my full-time job. So they see me a lot of old Joe Blewett, Blitz in 30 years. They need a backup tackle. Absolutely. Again, you cannot fuck around with. Think about if we didn't have Moses last year. Think about if Moses was on the team and then Becton went down, and it'd be Chuma McDoga or Connor McDermott, and Wilson would have got more destroyed than he already was. You cannot do that. If Douglas is not on a tackle before really the next couple of weeks, and we go into the season with the tackles we have right now as a backups, massive failure. It is. There's no way around it. You cannot do it. So it's not an if, it's an absolute must. Absolute must. Listen, if they don't sign the linebacker, the D tackle, the safety, could I get over the Jets taking lumps this year with their defense as long as Zach Wilson's surrounded? Yeah, I couldn't give. Obviously I care. I want them to be as successful as they can, but I could reason with that. Push the money to next year. Okay, I got you. Tackle? No way. Lamar Jackson's overrated when he runs nothing but 20 times a game. I don't think it's obviously of a little bit of an exaggerated number. I think Lamar Jackson's a great thrower or a great runner. I think he's a decent thrower. I don't think he's a great thrower. I don't think he's a bad thrower. I think he's an okay thrower who's inconsistent, but an elite runner, and that's what makes him that top 10 quarterback. So. But yeah, he could struggle, on the outside of the numbers, and he could struggle with seeing some windows and things like that. But overall, still like Lamar Jackson be the best quarterback the Jets have maybe ever had. Obviously Joe Namath and Pennington, we can make all those arguments, but let's not shit on Lamar Jackson. He's plenty good. Listen, didn't we get blown out versus Matt Barkley a couple of years ago? Like. Obviously it's not the same team, but I'm pretty sure we got blown out versus Matt Barkley. Not great. That was not great. So, we always played great when we wore the Titan jerseys. The game that comes to mind was that's the Cardinals. Was that 2009? That's when Eric Smith absolutely lit up. Was that Anquan Bolden? Absolutely lit him up. That's the game I think about in terms of Titans jerseys. But I don't think they're terrible. I don't love them. Cool. Hunter green uniforms with the white helmet, and that's a clean and that's clean Jets logo. Yeah, or even white with the white and the green. Like, could they do multiple helmets? Like, do they have to just do one alternate helmet? Like, could they do a green with the white and the white with the green? I wonder. I don't know. Only Jets Twitter would bully an owner to change. Dude, Jets fans are ruthless. You guys know, like they put up guys for votes in terms like for Pepsi Rookie of the Week or whatever. And if it was a Jets player, they won by like a lot. So bring back the 68 uniforms, honor the champions. It doesn't look like they're going to do so. I think if Woody did that after showing the classic 80 Jets logo on Twitter. I think fans would be pretty pissed, to be completely honest. I like that. But the 68 uniforms, you could argue, are a little bit similar to the ones like the early 2000s, etc. So Jets, Mets, fans want a contract now. Yeah, I think he does. Obviously, him tweeting or responding to the Minka deal and saying that that must be nice or whatever is obviously signaling that he wants a contract as well. And I think for what he was signed for, he massively outperformed it. And he was a guy who could easily have said, oh, well, I'm a bust of a signing. I'm bad. I'm terrible. And been calling people out all the time. What did he do? He just went, dominated, proved it. And that's great. And I remember it's I don't know if I can say that actually. But I'm not. Never mind. Never mind. Hey Joe, been a while. You're going 200 miles per hour. You must have gotten some sleep. I always go 200 miles per hour. If there's, I would say the biggest complaint I get or like comments is just I talk too fast, which it's my brain is just going. So I always talk way too fast. Bulls, excuse. Okay. What do you think the ref split between Hall and Carter? I said this in the past. I still think it's going to be relatively close to this. I'm going to say just in terms of like the share of the carries, it's going to be Hall 50%, Carter 35%, other 15%, whether that be Tevin Coleman, whoever is the other guy, Zonovan Knight, Ty Johnson, whoever's going to make that fourth spot. And I do think the Jets carry 4 running backs. Again, for a team who wants to emphasize the running game and who will be and should be pretty run heavy, I think you want 4 guys. Now, maybe they think they can slip one past the practice squad. Maybe they're like 2. They put both of them on the practice squad. They call them up in that game that they think they're going to run, like whatever. Maybe that's a possibility, but I would bet on the Jets carrying 4 running backs. So I think others like 15%. So Twisted says they need to throw away the green pants and white jerseys. Our win record wearing that is abysmal. To be fair, again, our record the last 10 years has been pretty bad regardless, but yeah, I agree. If Aaron ends on my week, Jeremy has a stream tonight. Make sure you go check out that. What vet wide receiver would you trade for? Evan K. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think they're gonna trade for a receiver. I think at this point they have a solid enough group where they don't need to use capital. Like to me, I think a guy on the free agency market would be just fine. And looking out there, like you see, I've looked at the list. I think like Emmanuel Sanders is out there. Now, would Emmanuel Sanders want to come to the Jets and not really compete for a Super Bowl? Probably not. He probably wants to be in that, with a team like the, maybe the Packers or whoever. So it's probably not realistic that he would sign here. But I would like a signing like that. Like I don't think they need to necessarily, you talk that fast reading them their rights. No, very slow and concise, and a lot of big words in that. So I have to really put on the brakes. Matthew Simon, this coming year, the Jets are going to have to start paying some of their guys like Fant if they are going to be real players in free agency, not out of their control, but serious about sustaining their roster. And I think you want to and with that, you want to reward guys who have played well. Like Fant's coming here. He was overlooked by the media and people shitting on the Jets for making that signing. He played okay at right tackle. He played probably below average at right tackle. He came into left tackle his second year here, played pretty well, if not really well. And he's getting what, 10, 11, $12 million this year. He's outplaying that contract, and he's a team captain. Like you got to pay your guys. You can't just let him walk. Like, listen, we've had way too many Wayne Hunters, Brandon Giacomini's of the world the last couple of years to say, okay, a guy like Fant who's, his age and the years he has left on his body and just say, no, walk away. Like they need to lock him up. Listen, the Jets don't have a lot of good players on a team who are worth paying. Fant is a guy who's worth paying. Like, I think people get infatuated with the age, 29, 30 years old. He doesn't have a lot of miles on the tires at all. And there's plenty of tackles. I would say the average age that tackles start like hitting that downtrend is like 32, 33, maybe. Like, especially if you're good. And he doesn't have a lot of miles on the tires. So he can last easily until his mid-30s. So it's not like, oh, he's a running back or a corner or receivers who's 29. We can't pay him. Pay him. Over under on total defensive sacks this year. Sorry for I'm itching my nose all the time. People complain about that too. But I have a dog. I'm allergic to dogs. I literally just got a dog though. Even though I'm allergic, so I'm trying to get past it. Which I think over time I'll just adjust to it. To be completely honest, but my face is always freaking itchy. especially when they're puppies and they lick your whole face. So over under total defensive sacks. That's a mega big, and like to say that off the top of my head. I have to look up the numbers in terms of like, oh, where would this many sacks put them? Let's hope it's 50. Let's hope it's 50, right on the dot 50. It's a high number, I think. I think realistically, like just off the top of my head, knowledge of sacks per year, I feel like 44 would be like hopefully somebody looks it up last year. 44 would be like 12th last year, let's say. I would guess if I had to guess, 44 would be 12th. I want to be top 10. So let's say 45 is the over under. I don't know. Pierre, hey Joe, I heard in a few places that as opposed to other rookie quarterbacks, Wilson was given a full-fledged playbook to run last year instead of a dumbed down one. Yeah, he was asked to do everything. Now, I think he was given the full playbook. Was he given the full control at the line of scrimmage? Was he asked to make certain checks? Was he? And I know he was doing a lot of check with me's and cans, where you basically go to the line of scrimmage with a call, and if you don't like what you see, you're going to can it. You're going to go to your other call. Could he flip runs? Could he audible to a run to a pass? Like how much was he given? I don't think he was given all of that. That wasn't put to his plate. But in terms of the playbook, they limit what the playbook was called. But I think over time he'll start to adjust to the line of scrimmage more too, because that wasn't all on his plate his rookie year. But yeah, like Mac Jones, dude, the fucking guy threw like every pass was like a swing or like a 3-yard check down. It was like Brady, but I don't know. So Jared, the hell was that? I don't know if you guys heard that noise. Jared says, hey Joe, never had the opportunity as of yet to ask a question live. Awesome. Appreciate you doing it for your first time, Jared. If Zach Wilson doesn't meet expectations this year, would you retain coaching staff and consider obtaining a new quarterback? So I don't think that even if Wilson doesn't meet expectations this year, and like how short of those expectations does he fall? Does he fall a little bit short where he's disappointing, but we still have hope in year 3? Or is he so bad that we're like, no way he's gonna be good in year 3? Either way, I think this staff has proved enough where they deserve to be here. I don't see a way that Saleh's fired. Now, could I see Ulbrich getting fired? Yeah. I could see that, but that's pretty much worst case scenario with the coaching staff. I think Douglas is back regardless. I just don't see. I don't see them moving on for any coaches this year. Whether it be again maybe positional guys, maybe it's Ulbrich, but it's not going to be Saleh. It's not going to be Mike LaFleur unless he gets a job opportunity elsewhere, which is obviously so far down the list of concerns we have right now. But overall, I don't think that we move on from the coaching staff. So. I heard we're trying to go for Deion Jones per sources. If not Jones, JD will opt for Quan. Listen, it could be as easy as we have the best offers on the table right now for Quan and for Deion, or Quan and Ogunjobi and whoever else, player X, and it's just sitting on the table, and that player is waiting for maybe an injury, maybe a team to come out of nowhere and offer them a higher contract. But I think they have deals in place with those guys. The Ravens offense is not predicated on all world wide receiver production. It's predicated on tough guy wide receivers who are efficient. No more tough than Anquan Bolden when he was with the Ravens. It is predicated on tough guys, wide receivers who are efficient. You Jets should know our fullback, 308 pounds on blocking tight end. You're talking about what? Patrick Ricard, and tight end is 270 pounds of muscle. Okay, you might be getting a little bit like I get it. Listen, I respect the Ravens, but I'm not going to blow smoke up their ass. Blitz smoke. I'll blow some smoke, but not full smoke. If Jets win more than 9 games, I'll buy a lucky fan a night at Hooters and cocaine. That's okay, Steve K. That's hey. If anybody listen, there might not be everybody in this chat who's willing to take that offer. Maybe the night at Hooters or hooker. I thought Hooters, a night of hookers and cocaine. Okay. I will bet that at least 30 guys in here are willing to take a night of hookers and cocaine. I think it said Hooters and cocaine. I'm like, it's kind of weird, being not Hooters on cocaine. I don't know. The game I've been looking forward to the most on the schedule is going to Green Bay. I'm interested to see how we can adjust to a challenge like going into Green Bay. Me too, because I will be there. It'll be very fun. Cool stadium. Listen, I don't think Green Bay is some juggernaut. I think Green Bay is a team who kind of has some weird lapses in terms of games they'll lose. And at the end of the day, like they lost they lost Devontae Adams, and they're throwing to a bunch of rookie receivers and, Alan Lazard, and is Tunyon even back? Like, did Tunyon leave? I don't think he was signed back. Maybe he was. But nonetheless, like Tunyon, Christian Watson, Romeo Dubs. Did they get Dubs too? I think it was Dubs. I'm not overly concerned about their receivers. Like, could we win that game? Sure. I think there are harder games on the schedule than them. I do. The Bills twice. I'm more worried about than the Packers. I would probably even say, I wonder. It's kind of hard to say because it's week 1, but I almost have more confidence. If the Jets were home against Green Bay and home against the Ravens, either one week 1, I would probably rather play the Packers week 1 at home than the Ravens. I would have more confidence in that. Maybe I'm crazy. The Jets kind of play well against the Packers, and I think with that crowd and not really having a developed receiver to go to for the Packers, I think the Jets can control the ball in the running game, and maybe they make Aaron Rodgers hold the ball a little bit and he takes some pressure because he's not on kind of par with his guys. So let's see. I saw something funny. Seems like all Jet coaches are always so high on Sherwood. I guess we'll see. I think people are going to hype up players regardless, but I think he's good from like a mentality. And I'm going to talk about Ulbrich in a little bit. If the guy uses the word strain one more time, I'm just going to, that's the iron sharpen iron, and strain is overused so much. Like, just because a guy strains doesn't mean he's a good player. And Ulbrich mentions the word strain like 6 times in his press conference. It drives me crazy because I hate that word now. But yeah, maybe, maybe it's his mentality. I just see him being behind the 8 ball because he's not a good athlete already. So, Praj, which is obviously the counterpoint to Green Bay. They have a stacked defense though. Jari Alexander, Stokes, Gary Campbell, Kenny Clark, Savage, etc. Yeah, they have a good defense. I think the Jets could run the ball a little bit on them though. I know Kenny Clark is good. And I know obviously they have Gary too there on the defensive line. They have some good players, but I'm not terrified of their defense. Like, I'm more scared of the Ravens defense with their secondary than the Packers defense. And then past that, I'm more concerned about the Ravens. The Ravens are going to beat us. The Ravens' strength on offense is our weakness in terms of them running the ball. Where the Packers, I get they had Aaron Jones, but obviously they make their hay on Aaron Rodgers' arm. But Aaron Rodgers' arm has to connect to somebody, and having Christian Watson, Dubs, and Alan Lazard, and maybe Tunyon as your weapons doesn't scare the shit out of me. So I am a Jets fan. Wear the sunglasses. It's dark out. I don't need sunglasses. Legitimately, when I wore the sunglasses, the sun was in my eyes. So, but I could throw them on. So Jets gang, because of, book your tickets for Green Bay now. Tyson said they were really high. So I looked at the flights. The flights were like 800, high 800s, like $900. So I think what we're going to do is fly into Chicago for like $300, I think, and then just buy or rent a car, not buy a car. Obviously, I don't have that much baller money. But yeah, I think I'm gonna fly into Chicago and then drive. Maybe that night, like maybe I could hang out in Chicago. Like, maybe it would be October. So who would be playing? Maybe like, no basketball. Maybe the Cubs are playing. Maybe the White Sox are playing. Go to a baseball game. Maybe the Mets are playing there. That'd be cool. So if Chad never got hurt with shoulder, do we go to the Super Bowl? What year are you talking about, Stickers and Boots? If are you talking about Favre? If Favre didn't hurt his shoulder, we're probably going to the Super Bowl that year in 2008. If you're talking about Chad year, I was like 10, 11, 12, 13 with Chad. So like I remember that stuff, but I'm not like a historian with that. The mid 2000s of the Jets. So you guys are killing it. I literally can't even get to my topics. I'm still going through the chat. So Dave, I'm excited about an improved team and look forward to this year, but I'm concerned with the center of our defense is an Achilles that Belichick abuses every year. Yeah, he abused it really early last year. He identified it, and that's the way they run their offense anyway, but it really played into what they do well. So I am concerned about the running game. But again, if we're going to lose because of the running game, is what it is. Hopefully they can contain it enough to make the team at least throw a little bit on third down. And then with the playmakers the Jets do have in the secondary, which they do, I really, really do like the combo of Sauce, obviously, with the chain. I like Sauce, and I like DJ Reed a lot. So I really like their upgrade in the secondary. The Jets' secondary last year I guess we can include Marcus May. Their corner group last year was bottom 3 in the NFL. It really was. Going into the season, if I told you, okay, Brandon Eccles and Hall going into the year, you'd say that's absolutely terrible. I know, and it still wasn't great, obviously. But going from that to Now those guys being your 4 and your 5, bringing in Reed and bringing in Sauce, I think the run game will hurt us, but I think they'll also make more plays in the pass game, and they're not going to be the 32nd ranked defense. I think some people think that the defense is going to be good. I would disagree. I think if you could settle on like the over under and total like DVOA ranking defense, again, however they quantify that, but in terms of just your real like your thought or your opinion on the defense, if I could sign the dotted line now for like the 20th ranked defense in the NFL, I would sign the dotted line for that. And I get that's disappointing because you have a lot invested in secondary, you have a lot invested in the defensive line. But I think the lack of size in the interior and the lack of adjustment to the gap running game and then the linebackers behind them, 20th is what I expect. Could they be better? Yeah, they could. Maybe Q takes a big step up in Rankins and all these guys, and Nathan Shepard strains so hard that he's going to start making plays in the run game. Then great. But it was a big weakness last year. We were terrible run defense, and all you did since then was lose fully Fatukasi. And I get that guys like Whitehead will help, and the tackling of the corners will help, but not enough to contain Jonathan Taylor. So Drew O'Neill, glad I get to listen while I'm working. I appreciate that, Drew. So let's see, 800 directly to Green Bay or to Milwaukee. I think it was Green Bay. My friend looked at Iowa Jets fan. I guess what was Milwaukee closer than Chicago? I think Milwaukee might have been high too. My friend Brett mentioned Chicago. I could be wrong though. But I know Green Bay was a lot of money to fly into there. So I will be driving. I guess it's like 2-3 hours from Chicago to Green Bay. Could be wrong, something like that. But I'm looking forward to that weekend for sure. So, not in October. Cubs suck this year. I forgot. Yeah. So hockey's preseason. I'm not going to hockey preseason game. There's no way. The Cubs are not going to make it to the playoffs. Neither of the White Sox. And past that, basketball, it's preseason. I'm not. So there's no games. Maybe football. What would be the closest college? What would be like a big college game? I don't know. I went to Notre Dame. I've been to some college games. I've been like a Nashville Predators game. Like I'll go to other stadiums when I'm in spots. But I guess it has to be a college team. I just don't know what is Wisconsin maybe playing? That'd be cool. So, okay. Keep moving on. Game 1, Jets beat the Ravens. Very cool. Pirlo's a legend. What's up, Joe? I want to go to opening day. My buddies went to Jacksonville Thursday night. What do you think? My buddy. Oh, you're only choosing one? If you're only choosing one game, listen. If you can only choose one game of the year, and there are actually people who are recommending a Thursday night Jaguars game over opening day, get rid of your friends. Pirlo. That's what I'm saying. I'm sorry. Listen, I know insensitive, whatever, but your friends are a bunch of jackasses. You need to go to opening day. That's not a question. Get rid of your friends. Get new ones. Dave, I agree with you. Happy JD saw a real deficiency in our secondary last year. Corners were much like Bears wide receiver. Jets fans thought they were better than they are. I think, listen, and in defense to Jets fans, it can be hard because we see so much shit. But we tend to see players who are average to below average, and because we've seen so much shit, we think they're great. And I'm not saying, listen, Barrios is not shit. Hall is not shit. You know what I'm saying, though. You know what I'm saying? So, going to Chicago is the smartest idea. Yeah, I'm not super familiar with all that area, but where the likes people, let's hit it for the Manny's. Also appreciate that, Jay. I got us going 2-2 the first 4 games. Jets gang, I would sign the dotted line for this any day. It's hard. It is to start the season. I get, Steelers. Listen, Trubisky. At the end of the day, Ben Roethlisberger was really, really bad last year. Could Trubisky not be better than Ben Roethlisberger? I'm more worried about Trubisky with his legs than I am Roethlisberger at that point. So, and they were still 7-10 last year-ish. Like they're always a decent enough team. So it's not a game we're going to walk into and we're expected to walk over them. So it's definitely a game I think the Jets should win, but I could just as easily see them losing that game, to be completely fair. They have TJ Watt, they have Minka, they have a bunch of players like Cam Hayward. They got some ballers on that team. So it's not a gimme, especially in Pittsburgh. Bengals, I think they're going to regress from last year. I don't think they're going to be as hot, even though how hot were they? I think they got a little bit lucky in the playoffs, to be completely honest. But with that being said, not an easy team. So 2-2, sign the dotted line. I think through the first 9 games, my hope, being realistic, my hope is to go 9-0. Obviously, that's what's going to happen. But past that, I think 4-5 would be what I'm hoping for. At the bare minimum, you need 3 wins. Bare minimum. And that's we're going to be in the territory, okay, talking at that point 3-6. Let's get to 7 wins, 8 wins. Maybe 9 wins if you really go hot, but you're going to lose some of those games you expect to win. You might lose the Lions game or something like that, but you're also going to win a game or two that you don't expect to. So I think you're hoping for 4 out of 9, 3 at the minimum, but going 2-2 to start would be obviously great. Great way to start off. So I have 2 tickets on the 50-yard line for New Year's Day. Oh, for the Seahawks game? I really want to go to the Seahawks game, Jay Perez, but January 1st, I can't. With work too, like taking off on New Year's Eve, not the easiest thing to do in the world for me. So keep moving on. Let's see what you guys are saying. Again, still filling out the chat, which is great. The fact, listen, like some people run out of stuff to talk about in June. We have so much film to get into. It's ridiculous too. So for the people who really like the film stuff, who watch the film shows, you're going to get bombarded with film stuff the next couple of weeks and months. So, okay. Jets 4+ or 4.5 Raven or plus 4.5 Ravens week 1. Not the worst line in the world. Jets Ravens a couple of years ago or even last year would probably be like a 10-point line at certain points. So Jets can definitely go 2-2. They can. They can go 2-2. Would I bet my life on it? No, I would not. I would not. That's what we'll go 1-3. Steve K says Trubisky's not blue chip, but he's much better than most think. Yeah, he's not blue chip. That's obviously that goes without saying, Dave. But blue chip is top 3 to 5 guy in the league. So only game they have a shot is in the Ravens. Okay, Steve. So you're telling me they have a better shot against the Ravens than they do with the Steelers? Why? I'm a Jets fan. I've never been to a home game. I've started a GoFundMe to try and make it to a home opener. Oh, share the link. Obviously, I don't know how much people are going to donate, but like, what do you need, Iowa Jets fans? Is it just the plane? I've seen you in here. I've seen you other places too. So I know you are a big commenter in the Jets YouTube community. So I think people would actually donate to that. So I wonder, is there a certain goal you're trying to reach? Is it just a flight? Is it tickets? Like, what is it? But yeah, you need to go to a home game. So if you can wait, if you can go to the home opener now, if they win, great. Obviously, if you go to a game, they lose, it's really disappointing, but you'll feel the energy we're talking about. The stadium sucks. It does. The parking lot sucks. It does. But when the Jets are winning, awesome feeling in that stadium, especially get the chant going. It'll never be like it was in Giant Stadium to me. It just won't be. But it's still great. So, and weird. Go to your work Times Square on New Year's Eve? No, I work in New Jersey. I'm not in New York. So no, that would absolutely suck. I would hate to be a New York cop. No, absolutely not. I would rather do if it was either do that, be a New York guy, or do this full time. I would just take less money to do this and just go balls to the wall and just do this. I could not work in New York. Not they're no, they get treated like absolute balls. So let's see. Joe Iwan will also send you a rust-colored wine if you were nice to him. Rust-colored wine? I'll take some wine. I notice a lot of the wine I like, getting into some stupid stuff here at June 15th. A lot of the wine I seem to like has that oakier type of red color to it. Like you get almost a little oaky looking. So that you're talking about? I'll take some. The Jets could go 3-1 if Deshaun Watson isn't playing suspended. Could, sure. Could they beat the Ravens? They could. Could they beat the Steelers? Sure. Could they beat the Browns? Sure. But that is a hefty task. You're talking about, a very tough division. Going 3-1 in that is very, very hard. And you're talking about a team who is going to take a little bit to adjust to the run game, and multiple teams who will smack you in the mouth with the Ravens, the Browns, obviously with Chubb and Hunt, and then even the Bengals with Mixon and the Steelers with Harris. Like, it's not going to be easy. So, very happy seeing the Rangers lose. Too many Rangers fans in NJ. Usually same fans as Giants and Yankees, but not always, but usually. There's a bunch of different combos. I'm not happy to see the Rangers lose. I feel bad. I'll word it this way. I feel bad for the Rangers fans who are Jets fans, or I feel bad for the Rangers fans who are Jets fans and fans of the show. But for just general Rangers fans, I couldn't care any less. I'm sorry. Or Jets fans out there, I feel for you. I feel for you. So, let's let's see. Sneakers or boots, JD addressed 85 to 90% of our team in 2 years. For these coaches end with adequate depth. So many years of our starters getting hurt and our backups would barely make the practice squad of other teams. Yeah, no, you're right. And now we have legitimate backups, and that's why people who like want to dump Hall or they want to dump Eccles or they want to dump this guy. Now there's positions obviously they're lacking real depth, safety, linebacker, maybe D tackle a little bit, but they have some like Barrios would have been the best receiver on the Jets from like 13, 14 to like 2017. Like Curley was our number one for years. Seriously. And I like Curley, but come on. I was surprised at how weak the Panthers fans were last year opening day. Harold, I think you said you were there. But yeah, I was in the upper deck and they were beating us. And I was literally screaming at Panthers fans like, yeah, you guys are beating us, but you guys are some of the worst fans I've ever seen. Like no noise on opening day, sitting down, barely clapping. Like they were terrible fans. Like they are Panthers fans, garbage. So, okay, let's see. Don't listen to Jets Chaos. He's trying to guilt me into sending him one. Hey, listen, man, if you got some wine and you're a winemaker and you want to send me some wine, I'm cool with it. I'll be cool with it. I like wine. You can send me a big bottle. You could send me 12 bottles. That'd be cool. I'd appreciate that. I just bought I just bought like literally like, I don't know how many ounces it is, but like a big one of wine because I thought it was one that my wife and I liked. And I saw it. I was like, oh, look, it's on sale or whatever. I bought it and we drank like a sip out of it. We're like, oh, this sucks. And we threw out like a however many dollar bottle of wine. So it was absolute garbage. Okay. Could the Jets put Bryce Hall on tight end instead of a safety? Listen, could they? Sure. If it's a guy like a Dawson Knox, like even Hall played his rookie year, he played against Waller, right? That one game he got toasted. So could you? I would probably say that Joyner would be better in man coverage on tight ends. Maybe he'd be better than Whitehead in some situations. Could there be some looks he does that? Sure, but not primarily. Not primarily. Okay. So let's talk about some of the other topics as well. I caught up in the chat, but there's again some news I want to get to in terms of the Jet stuff. Again, a lot of the stuff I'm going to lightning around it because really who cares? I care. I do. I'm going to hit on it quickly, but I don't like to dive deep into topics that don't necessarily deserve it. Some notes from training camp. Wilson's now looking good. Tore it up yesterday, tore it up today, obviously, minus red zone. Again, what is he working on? What are the reads he's working on? Is he working on different footwork? Is he working on different arm angles? Is he working on, there's so many different things he could be doing. So for people who are overrating, practices both just in terms of the importance, whether on a bad day or a good day, it's stupid, but he's playing well now. Oh my God, great. Like, cool. Garrett Wilson's making some plays. Cool to see. That's a note for today. I think he's going to take a little bit longer to develop than some people think. Not longer to develop. I think he is not as developed as a route runner as some people think he is. I still think he'll make his plays in his rookie year, but he's going to struggle a little bit to get off the press and stuff like that. Another note from training camp that Quincy Williams is becoming more vocal. And apparently, do the Jets have some faith in him? They're saying they do. Should they? Listen, he was a scrap heap guy who came in. He played well relative to expectations. I think if he was more of like the 3 of the linebacker group, like if they had a legitimate number 2, like let's say it was like an Avery Williamson from a couple of years ago, obviously, not now, like an Avery Williamson level player, I would feel much more comfortable with him as a 3. As a 2, I'm not going to have that faith in him. Maybe the Jets do, but the fact he's becoming more vocal, obviously, it's going to come with him being more experienced in the defense and obviously knowing his teammates. He came in, without a training camp and all that stuff for the Jets next year or last year. So, do I expect Quincy Williams to be better this year than last year? Yes. With that being said, does that equal to him being a starter? No. No. Other news: Sauce. Apparently, it was $50,000 to DJ Reed for number 1, but then he commented something like he only paid $50. So I think, did he only pay $50 or $50,000? I don't know. $50 would be hilarious. $50,000. Listen, like I get it. I know like somebody commented like, oh, I don't care if they win in bean sacks as long as they win. I get that. I'm a big number aesthetics jersey guy. It just is what it is. I've always been since I played football and stuff. I just like jerseys, and basketball and whatever else. So I get him. Like, okay, if he plans on being dominant and being a Hall of Fame player, which he is confident enough, he seems like he thinks he will be. Do you want to rock the number that you kind of were brought up in and made your hay in that number? Like, yeah. And he's making however many $1 million a year, $50,000 a year. Okay. Or $50,000 for a jersey number. Cool. I like it. I honestly like Reed a lot in 4. I'm not going to lie. 4 is kind of nice for Reed, who's smaller. Other note, I put in here again, none of this is organized well. I just don't do it. I just throw a bunch of shit in a note section and just want to talk about it with you guys and hit on it because I don't want to talk about it when it's irrelevant. The show tomorrow, the flight show, really, really excited to talk. I froze up and I'm probably going to freeze up again and it's going to reset itself. Does anybody know how long the episodes are going to be though? Like, are they going to be 30, 40, an hour? I don't know. I will warn you though, that after you watch those shows, the Jets are not winning the Super Bowl. So chill, but it's going to be really fun to watch. I already told my wife, like, listen, I know we want to watch shows and there's a bunch of good shows that came out. Peaky Blinders came out and The Boys you watch on Amazon. I love that show. And I want to watch that stuff. And she recently got into The Office. I watched The Office multiple times, but she just started watching it. So I've been watching The Office a lot, but Flight 2022, whatever it is, I got to watch that. So, the new helmets, we mentioned that. You guys kind of got your opinions out about that. Becton or Fant at left tackle. Again, I think it'll be Fant. And we obviously saw the Fant comment on Twitter that it must be nice to Minka's extension. So what are you guys willing to go? Is it $14, $15 million like Kyle and I? Is it lower? Do you feel that he should play out this year? Then the Jets should see what happens with Fant, who's available in free agency, then sign Fant. To me, again, team leader. He's been solid since he's been here. I know year 2 is better than year 1, but overall still a good player, both at right tackle and left tackle. Lock him up. If again, sign the dotted line right now, $15 million a year. I'm doing it for Fant. 3-year deal, 4-year deal, whatever it is. The Jets usually it'll be like a 3-year deal with an out after 2. Typically what it is. That's how they kind of structure their deals. I would do it right now for Fant. To me, I think Fant will be the left tackle. I think they have that continuity with him. They saw him do what he did last year. And again, I don't know. It's speculation, pure speculation. I don't think the Jets love Becton's social media stuff. I don't think they love him wearing a big bust t-shirt. It's not my style. Is it theirs? If I had to guess, I would probably say no. And with Becton, he's still not practicing, which again it's a little bit concerning with the initial diagnosis. Which again, is that Becton's fault? No, it's probably more of the Jets' fault for I don't know, being too optimistic in terms of his diagnosis and when he can come back, because now a lot of fans kind of they attach themselves to that 8 to 12 weeks, and he's not ready now, and fans are kind of freaking out, which I get. Like I get the injury's been taking a while and a little bit longer than you really want, so it's slightly concerning. It is slightly concerning. I'm not gonna lie. And then the thing with that too is that I want to note is that like you have Salah who comes out and he's like going out of his way almost to praise Mims and Mims' best physique and he's coming in and he has the right mindset and all this stuff and he's praising Zach and Quadzilla and how fit he is and how much weight he gained and how dedicated he is and all this stuff and all of that. And then like they ask about Becton and it's kind of like, yeah, we'll see. He has, he could be great, all this stuff, but like, he's not really going out of their way to like say, oh no, he's coming in at a good weight. He's where we want him to be. Like he's not really saying any of that stuff when for some other guys he is. So it's like really subliminal. But to me, just reading tea leaves and being able to hopefully read some of that stuff, I don't think they are enthused with Becton. Let's say that. And I think Fant will win that job. But again, I get that people are so like polar on. He's such a polarizing guy. Becton, I don't like the way he's treated, and I don't like the way the media fishes for kind of quotes against him. But at the same time, listen, at the end of the day, he had some injuries year 1. We get it. A little bit concerning there. Big guy, injuries. Okay. It was 1 year. He didn't have a ton of injuries through his career, so hopefully he can rebound from that. Year 2 goes down, freak thing, whatever. And then just with some of the stuff intertwining in terms of like the subliminal messaging they're sending or not being like overly in his corner, it gives you some tiny doubt. And then you have the stuff on Twitter and the big bust stuff. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of it. If he plays well, I couldn't really care less if he plays well. I just don't love it. So we'll see. Again, I personally would like him to grow up a little bit, but if he plays well and he wins the Jets a Super Bowl, who gives a shit if he's not my favorite guy who I want to go and grab a beer with, you know. In terms of Garrett Wilson too, he did. I want you guys to check out an article that Nani did in terms of or in reference to who will play in the slot. And I mentioned to you guys a lot that we'll just one in terms of the Jets in terms of their offense or with their offensive structure. They like the slot is overemphasized for them because they play so many tight and bunch sets that you get the same feel as a slot in terms of tight or tight spacing to the line of scrimmage with two-way goes and with guys being backed up because you don't want all that traffic. So the outside guy could almost be playing more of like a slot role in terms of the coverage and the two-way go they're seeing. But with that being said, you're going to see some standard slot looks. And I told you guys, if you guys have been watching this for a while, which hopefully you have been, if you're not new, great. But I've said in the past, and I did my Garrett Wilson review, and you'll see another one that he does struggle at times to get off a press. And he opens his chest up a lot and he kind of overstrides and he struggles to stack guys in terms of getting vertical. So I think at first he should be a slot guy. I think he has a physical capability of being a good outside guy, but he was not a good outside guy in college or a great outside guy in college. He's good enough. And then Nani put up the article in terms of his usage and how he actually struggled a little bit on the outside. He was better in the slot, which I said it without knowing any stats. But I've been talking about that for months. So hopefully people would back me up on that one. But yeah. So let's see comments. I'll get back to some of the other topics in there too. You guys have been lighting up a little bit, of course. Yep. I talk for 2 seconds and there's a ton of chats in here again. So I love that. Okay. Panthers fans coping with Darnold. Yeah, I love the fact that Panthers fans were talking some shit too. Like after the game, we're all walking away and they were talking shit about Darnold. And I specifically remember being like, listen, you think he's great now? Wait until next year. Wait. What do you think the Jets record would be for the whole season? And do you think they can make the playoffs? I think I landed on 9-8 or sorry, I landed on 8-9. I don't think they make the playoffs. I am expecting anywhere between 7 to 9 wins. Anything less than that is going to be a disappointment. Anything more than that obviously would be amazing, but I'm expecting 8 wins. 8 wins is where I would put my number on. So keep moving on. 50K. So Max, he said 50. He said 50 in an interview, but then he came out and said he also didn't say 50,000. He said 50. So did he mean 50,000? I don't know. When you play in the jersey, numbers matter. Yeah, numbers matter to me too. Sneakers to boots. There's people out there. I don't care what number he wears. I don't care about the jerseys. I care about it. So. Joe, are you near Menlo Park? I need a ride from there to MetLife for the opener. The funny thing is, I'm 100% serious. Where is Menlo Park, Jeremy? I have a Jets bus. If like we pick up a guy at what it used to be Cheese Quick. Is that the exit at like 1:30 on the Parkway? I used to stop there to pick up a guy. We do have a bus. I would legitimately hey, if you need to ride, let me know. I don't know if I'm that's near Menlo Park though. I'm not. Where's Menlo Park? You have to tell me. The 5 episodes will total about 3 hours. Okay, cool. So about 40 minutes, right? I like to say the Jets know how to put out good propaganda. Yeah, it's a hype piece. It's like I think Hard Knocks is more what's the word I'm looking for? Unbiased, I guess. Like they'll show both sides. Where obviously the Jets putting out their own stuff, they're going to be super positive. So it's really fun to see behind the scenes and stuff, though. I really do like that and take away what you will. Virgin give him $15 million, as would I. Fant plays like he did last year, but better in the run game. I'd pay 16.5. But the problem is, what are you willing to play right now? Sneakers to boots, because he's not gonna. He wants that contract now. I don't think he wants to play another year, risk injury going into a contract year. He wants to extend it by the Jets, which he deserves. He does. Sign Fant if reasonable. It's a good look for our organization if he outplayed the contract. Yeah. Just concerned if he'll have the same success against better competition than last year. Yeah, you're always gonna be concerned of it because he doesn't have a stacked resume, but I think he will. I think he the Bengals not really overrated. They just didn't have the pieces they do. They're not necessarily overrated. I think they got a little bit more lucky in the playoffs than they didn't steamroll the playoffs is what I'm trying to say. I don't think there's plenty of teams where they're up and comer, like they're bad up and comer, they're not. They don't maintain that the next year. They always fall back down to earth a little bit. So I think right now, obviously, what do we assume with Watson? I think with Watson, I think they're the third team in the AFC North there. But what is Watson going to do? I just don't see them going back to the Super Bowl. If I had to put my money on it, they're not going back to the conference championship game. I could see them not being in the wild card and losing the wild card legitimately. So, Andrew saying the Jets podcast with CJ Mosley was such a great interview. Good evening, everyone. Mosley, I like Mosley, but he does answer everything really stock. So I try to take some away from that. I listened to it. I have some notes about it, but we'll see. I wish he'd go get Fisher for swing tackle. I'm cool with Fisher. I'm cool with Darrell Williams. I'm cool with the dude they just brought in, who I'm forgetting his name off the top of my head. But Dennis, dog days of summer approaching. Tennis is viable to watch and counts down to the start of football. French, Wimbledon, USA. Yeah, I'm not a big tennis guy for sure. I like playing tennis like at a hotel, like whatever, if it's there. But the film will get me through. I have so much more film to do. So that's fine. Keep moving on to the questions, and then I will be going to the rest of the notes I have. Dakota is going off about the AFC North, I think. I see a ton of chats in here about it. Near Woodbridge? Yeah, that's Woodbridge is what, Stephen Angle? That's southwest, or no, sorry, northwest from us. Like right? I don't know. Edison. Okay, yeah. Near Outer Bridge Crossing and NJ. Edison. Yeah, Edison, because Edison is by like Chesapeake, right? Yeah, and that's like Bon Jovi's rest stop or something now. Because Edison is like where there's a lot of good Indian food in Edison. But Edison is by like Jose Tejas is in Woodbridge, right? It's all in that same area. So yeah, Jeremy, legitimately, if you need to get a ride, like you catch a freaking ride to the Chesapeake or whatever it is thing, and we could pick you up. I really would do that. I wouldn't care. Who cares? Gonna get in the van and just say nothing and stare at us. I'm like, "What's up, dude?" Be the weirdest dude ever. I don't think so, but you have a bus. Is there a video? Let me see if I can pull a picture. Well, it's not my bus. It will be my bus. I'm sure. Well, me and my friend will split it. It's his dad's bus. But it's his dad's bus. But when he passes eventually, we will get it. I'm sure we'll be going to games. But let's see if you can see it. You see, it's like a short bus. That's our bus. I don't know what game that's after. I think it's after we got blown out versus the Pats. But people always panic about like getting out of the stadium. Like, oh my God, it's such a bad, like getting out of the stadium is such a bad time. Yeah, amateur hour. If you have to get out soon, sure. But we come back out. We crack open another couple of beers. We put the grill on and we grill a couple of hot dogs for an hour and a half, and we just chill. Why sit in traffic? So we get kicked out of the parking lot every game. And we're chilling on the bus, and we got the flat screen TV on the outside of the bus. It's a really, really good time. I've been going to the games with those guys for I'm 29. I've been going to the games since I was probably first game was probably like 5 or 6. So I've been going to those games, going to games with those guys for like 23 years. I've never been to a football game with my dad. I've been to only those games with one of my best friends and his dad, who's like an uncle to me. So that's why I'm a Jets fan, not even because of my family. They're all asshole Giants fans. So I think Reed maybe 1-4 anyway. It looks great on him. Yeah, it's a good number. So where about would be convenient for a bus pickup? Along the parkway that we're driving. So I'll be willing to do that. We'll probably pick up a guy from there anyway. Obviously, depending on depends on how many people are on the bus. Like there are some times where there's only 8 to 10 seats in there. There are some times where it's stacked up, so I can't guarantee it, but I'll try to help you out. You might have to lay on the floor. Who gets a free safety job, Joe? It is LaMarcus Joyner. I think Pinnock is free safety. I think he could be. He would have to take massive steps up from where he was last year. Bengals, Dolphins definitely hate the most. You're a Jets fan who hates the Bengals and the Dolphins. That is crazy, but interesting. I'm curious to see why, Dakota. I know you probably laid out a couple of reasons in the chat, but I have not been able to read all your stuff, obviously, because I'm doing this. But what do you think about Smith over Mims? Listen, it was Smith over Mims. It was Tyreek Black over Mims late in the season last year. So at the end of the day, do I want Mims to be a dominant number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4 receiver? Yes, sure. But if I told you at the beginning of last year, hey, again, Jeff Smith and Tyreek Black and Vincent Smith and whoever else are going to see reps over him, you'd say I'm crazy. So I could see it happening. I'm hoping it's Mims because Mims has a physical upside that Smith can only dream of. So, yeah, Joe, near there, exit 11 on the Trump. Like, yeah. We'll see. If anybody needs help, I can do that. So I saw a comment about a short bus, but it just disappeared. So I want to see there's gonna be a comment about a short bus. Yeah, it's a good time. It's definitely a good time. I can get to Edison to that rest stop. I will let you know. Still got to book a flight from Sacramento. So you're coming to MetLife from Sacramento, Jeremy, but you don't have a plan to get to the stadium. That's hilarious. But if you really, yeah, dude, listen, if you're flying that far out and you need a ride just to the stadium, I'm shocked, but I would help you out. I would 100% help you out. Once GVR was held accountable and taken out, our O-line play was definitely better. Yeah, just the upgrade from GVR to LDT, which it's a big upgrade, but going from GVR to ABT is so much bigger of a leap than GVR to LDT. So it's going to be a massive improvement. Even like last year, like you're saying, Seekers of Boots, and some of those games, just with GVR out, like how many of those games were with Feeney at seeing a good amount of reps because of McGovern going down, or with a backup tackle coming in, or with a backup left guard coming in, or I don't think not left guard because ABT was healthy like all year, right? But still there was moving parts on the entire line. So now you have continuity, you have better players around them. We will be a much improved line this year. So, I know where the beach is at. Is at where I'm at in South Florida, Florida Jets fan. That sucks. That sucks. You're in Florida, enemy territory. Obviously, it's a nice area. Florida, it's too hot there for me. I couldn't do that heat. I need winter. Like I can't. I hate summer. I do. I am a fall and spring guy. Summer is terrible to me. I hate the heat. I hate the traffic. I hate people flooding from those states. I'm sorry. I like you guys sometimes, not all the time. So I couldn't deal with 12 months of hot. I couldn't do it. I would much rather, like people are like, oh, go south for the winter type deal. I much rather go north for the summer. Like that's how I am. Bring me to freaking Wisconsin for June through August. I hate the summer. You need to pick up in Vegas. We'll work on it. Sorry to keep moving on. I don't know why StreamYard's being really ultra dumb today. So Edward Ziff saw a game at Shea since he hung 46 points on Joe Namath led Jets team. Edward, you're around for that. Wow, that's awesome. Two, that sucks because you watched a lot of shitty Jets football, but at least you see. I'm assuming you saw the Super Bowl, so that's great. But you've watched 50 years of absolute balls, so I apologize for that. Thanks for sharing. Let's see. Yeah, the bus is cool. Did Joyner come from the Saints? I'm just wondering what team he was. Well, was he on the team before the Rams? The Rams at safety, at free safety, is where he made his hay. He left the Rams in 2018 to go to the Raiders in 2019, where he played slot corner 2019, 2020. Came to the Jets 2021 to be a safety. He didn't want to be a slot corner anymore because why would you? I don't get taking a free safety and moving him to slot corner. Like there were some reps where he could play slot corner because of his agility and his ability to play man coverage, but that's more of a secondary trait for him than just being an overall safety, like being a better safety. So he should have been playing safety the entire time. Again, I don't get the move signing him to be not what he was successful at with the Rams, and then he came to Jets. Obviously, got hurt after like 10 reps. So Dennis saying Dolphins always number one hate. Yeah, I'm with you, Dennis. Dolphins number one, Pats number two. I agree with that. Damn Joe, I just said that yesterday. I love spring and fall. Summer's the worst, dude. Worst. Like when it takes me 45 minutes to get to a place where it takes me 15 minutes to go to, and there's people going 45 and a 60 in the fast lane, and I can't get past them. My job gets busier. Obviously, a lot of you guys know what I do. The bars, the drunk people, the domestics, the fights, the car crashes, the beach traffic, the New Yorkers, the Pennsylvanians. I can't. I hate the summer. Hate it. Lock me in my house for 3 months. I'm cool with it. Minus like the only thing I like about the summer is going to like a barbecue and being by a pool. The beach, hate it. Like I've been to Aruba. Like listen, I'm not like oh my god whatever. But like I've been to Aruba, been to St. Thomas, been to what's the other one? Antigua, been to Hawaii. There's no reason for me to want to go to a New Jersey beach or a Florida beach. I'm sorry, I don't care about it. Like clear chlorine pool, hot dog, trampoline. All right, cool. Let my dog run around the backyard, but like going out, getting sand in my socks and shoes and shit, driving in traffic. No, fuck no, no. Froze again. I am not as good at snowboarding as I am skiing. Like skiing, I could do double diamonds. But I don't ski. I used to ski when I was a kid, sneakers to boots. I don't do it as much as I used to because my job, I can't really get injured. But I do like the snow blades. Like I don't know if you like. I'm sure you know what snow blades are. Like they're the skis that are like like 2 feet. They're probably like maybe like this big. They're a lot harder for balance, but like you can hit the terrain park with them because they're not as long. So I'll hit the terrain park with my snow blades. That's usually what I do. But yeah, I'm a snowblader. So I haven't done it in a while, but like I used to go to like Camelback and Big Boulder, all that stuff. I don't really like Jack Frost and what's the other one? What's the other one in Jersey? It's either really icy or like really too powdery. I don't like that. But yeah, I'm a big Camelback, Big Boulder guy. So is the interior of the bus decked out? Again, it has a TV inside. It has jet seats and stuff like that. So it's decked out, but it's not nothing crazy. It gets us where we need to go. We're gonna do most of the tailgating outside. So Andrew was saying, can we just beat the damn Finns? I hate hearing the shit every year lately. Yeah. Finns fans to me are the most cocky fans for no reason. They're the most douchebag fans we have in our division. I hate them. I really do. They talk shit like they've won Super Bowls in the last, I don't know, 20, 30 years. Like the Pats, we hate them because of how successful they are. And they talk shit, but they deserve to talk shit. Like we would be unbearable too after six rings. But the Dolphins are so cocky without that. I can't imagine if they actually won. I hate Dolphins fans. I really do. So, it's always the sand on the feet, dude. Sand in the socks. Sand in the socks is just it's awful. Shawnee, yes, Drew O'Neill, got it. Yeah, Shawnee and Jack Frost, not big fan, but good pull there. The Lord, I was late to the stream. Did we cover sauce wearing oven mitts? I'm gonna hit that, Lord. I'm going to run through the rest of my topics once I catch up with the chat, which I'm almost caught up with the chat. And I'll get into that stuff because I actually have an interesting tidbit on the mitt stuff. Mountain Creek, yeah, another one. I love your honesty on the realities of summer. It sucks. Why is summer good? And the thing about like I get like the beach and stuff, but you can, and I will always go to this in terms of like hot versus cold. You can control the cold. You could turn on the heat. You could wear extra clothes. You could wear a hat. You could wear a jacket. You cannot control the heat when it's hot out. Obviously, unless you're sitting in a car, you have you're inside. Sure, which is me. I control the heat. I stay inside. I anything over like 70 degrees, I don't like. My perfect is like high 50s, low 60s, nice crisp breeze, fall. Smell the leaves in there. That's the shit. That's the shit. Get me good Oktoberfest. That's my summer. That's my time. That's my time. Shawnee's crazy ice. Yeah, wakeboarding is so much better. Just saying. I used to skimboard. I've never wakeboard. I love the wakeboard. Skimboarding was fun when I was a kid. Hit the like. Appreciate that, Ed Mannon. No name, the lower PT. How do you think Becton looked and sounded with the media today? I got to watch it again, Pirlo. Or I didn't watch that one. I watched a lot of them. I didn't watch Becton. Again, do I love a guy wearing a big bust t-shirt? No, it's not my style. I'm more shut up and prove it type. A lot of people don't like that. A lot of people are kind of like, I think a lot of kids are like, yeah, get him. Like, cool. It's awesome. Me, just do it, dude. Just do it. It's immature. I don't think you get around. It's immature. Some people like it. To me, it's very immature. Rory hit on this a lot. I like Hamza coming out of college. I think he's very athletic. I think he has a chance to be a starting linebacker. Obviously, take a large leap to get there, coming from being a safety to linebacker. It's not easy, but I like him. I like his college film. I think he's a shot. Sherwood, to me, I think he's going to be a role player. I think he's not athletic enough to be a consistent starter at linebacker. I get it. You damn Northerners. I don't wear socks or it's just like even having so, and maybe you guys think I'm crazy here, but if you guys have ever been to like a beach in New Jersey and you get the sand in your feet versus like a beach in like the St. Thomas, the Caribbean, the sand is just different. Like it's just shitty. and you're like swimming at like Sandy Hook, in New Jersey, and there's like a condom floating next to you, and there's like sussy stuff floating next to you, and then like a Twinkies wrapper. It's like why? You can't see anything. Can't see. It just sucks. Mid 70s, too high. Too high. Mid 60s, high 50s. Dude, he to Seattle with need. Hold on. Dude, man, he to Seattle. We need good peeps like you. Are you talking about come to Seattle? I might be able to pull it off. I really might. I just can't. I can't justify that over Minnesota. Not when it's the week it is. Just got here, Joe Funkbut. You are the man. I appreciate that heavy tanking. We've had a lot of interesting conversations the last 2 hours. KC Smooth, my class went to Sandy Hook for a field trip. Shit was gross. That's great. Where'd you go to school? Would you? I don't know. A field trip to Sandy Hook. It's gross. It is. Listen. It gets flooded with people from outside the state. There's no parking. The sand sucks. There's the rocks suck. There's shit on the beach. There's needles on the beach. There's condoms in the water. There's it's green. It sucks. It sucks. Long Island had great beaches. Come to LI. Joe will show you how to breach properly. Again, I'll be a little bit bougie. Hawaii, Antigua, Aruba, St. Thomas, I'm sure are better than Long Island. That's the only time I enjoy going to the beach, like in paradise. I'm bougie as hell. Romantic. I'm like right by like Seabright, Long Branch, Asbury type areas. So we've been pretty much everywhere. Like our trips, we don't do a lot of trips here. Like we're going to Italy, doing that stuff. I like to get out there. When I'm in New Jersey, I'm at home. Other than that, I'm doing film. I just at my buddy's house, barbecue. I'm not a big beach guy. Koch was that one jet tribe. Yeah, I saw that. I don't know why, but Koch is one of my favorite of all time. So I remember when I was a kid, we were always warned about needles on the beach. Yeah, especially if you're in Jersey. So Jamaica. Okay, I want to get through some of the other notes I have too in here for the people who are still in here, which is about 100 strong. So I appreciate that. Let's go over some of the quotes from the interviews today, and then I will take some of your questions after that, and then we'll get out of here because I have a good amount of stuff I put down here. So Mike LaFleur reemphasizes the light camp running teams. Okay, yeah. So he kind of reemphasized the fact that they're going to go 7-on-7s light. Or light in terms of like not running, doing a lot of passing stuff. Again, to me, a little bit concerning in terms of coming out and playing the AFC North at first. Teams in general, the first 2-3 games take a little bit to adjust to tackling, and you're coming from a camp that's already lighter than normal against a more physical division than normal to start the season off. It's not the best. It's really not. It concerns me a little bit. Something to mention. Will it be a major factor? No, but it is something to note. You don't want to start against run-heavy teams with a light camp with a team who already struggled against the run last year. It's just not ideal. He also mentioned that the battle left tackle will work itself out quickly, which we kind of hit on before. Again, you need to have the continuity. You need to get guys into their solidified positions. So it will be figured out pretty quickly. In my opinion, another note, Mike LaFleur says that Mims is the best shape we've seen him in. Listen, there's been plenty of guys who are in the best shape and they get traded, they get cut, they don't perform. I'm not putting a lot of stock into it. So could it be a trade? Could it be the fact that they're actually hyped or hyped about him? I don't really know. I'm not going to go crazy about it. But per the beat, he is flashing more this summer. And again, if he could just be a guy who gets like 300-400 yards this year, like listen, coming out of Baylor, coming off of year one, if you told me, hey, would you take a 400-yard season for him in year 3? I'll be massively disappointed. But after last year, if he could just be a 4 or 5, I think it's a win as of right now. I do, so that's interesting. Ulbrich came out and he said it's an interesting quote. He said it's hard to be an asshole on this team, which I agree with. I think it's an interesting quote just in terms of we've emphasized a lot Joe Douglas and the character he's brought in from, Sauce to Breece Hall to DJ Reed to, even having Mosley here to having Fant, plenty of guys, AVT, Laken Tomlinson. It seemed like there's an actual like good locker room here, which we haven't had, and I haven't said in 10 plus years. So I think it's an interesting quote in terms of like, it is hard to be an asshole. We have a bunch of good guys on the team. He also mentioned Sauce, and he says he doesn't repeat errors, which is great. Obviously here then he's taking to coaching, and he hyped him up a little bit more in terms of how good he could be and his size and things like that. So that was nice to hear. And then obviously he mentioned Strain 10,000 fucking times again, which to me is just brutal. I can't take him saying Strain already, and it's June 15th, 16th right now. So that is brutal. And I don't like the way he interviews, but it is what it is. Again, just going through some of the stuff, just hit on it quickly again, because if people care at all what I think about this stuff, I'd like to put a sentence or two to some of the quotes. Tomlinson came out. He said, and it's funny when he's getting interviewed, he likes when people introduce himself. Like, he doesn't appreciate people just flying out with the questions. Like every time somebody would fire out a question, he would just be like, "What was your name again?" Like, just maybe introduce yourself. Like, I don't know who you are. You're asking me questions. Maybe we should get to know each other. So I kind of like that he was like kind of upfront, like, "What's your name?" Ask me a question. What's your name? What's your name? Like that. Kind of cool. And he also mentioned that he says the offensive line can be one of the best. Again, is he going to say they could be one of the worst? They could be decent? No. So just, something to note. But you're never going to be like, nah, I think we'll be all right. At best, we'll be all right. A couple of other tidbits. Sauce mentions that the playbook is easy to him because he studies a lot. And that was something to me that stood out just because the Sherman interview, which you guys should go up or go and look up if you haven't already. Just type in Sauce Gardner, Ahmad Gardner, and Richard Sherman in the interview. And Sherman really told him in that interview, like, listen, you got to be balls to the wall with football all the time. Like, there's plenty of guys who go out, after and they party and they're out with their family, they're out doing, at the club, whatever it is, but they're never as good as they could possibly be. Like, you got to be football all day, every day during the season, off season. And that's how you'll be great. The guys who don't, they aren't great. And the fact that you have a guy like Sauce, who I know is studying the playbook a lot and mentioning, like, he's not even like, oh yeah, I'm getting it. He's like, oh, it's easy. Like, I'm always studying it. Was nice to hear. And then he also, which somebody in the chat brought up the mitts before, which I appreciate that you even brought it up. And then Sauce brought up in his press conference that about the mitts, he said that he actually brought up to the coach. Like, it wasn't something that the Jets brought to him. He said that he wants to wear the mitts. Like, that was something he did in college. So it's obviously something that helps him without, so he can't grab. And talking to Sherman in that interview, Sherman mentioned that his weakness and what he's going to have trouble with in the NFL is being too grabby. And to see that he's bringing up to coaches that he wants to wear mitts in practice, like, you'd think a rookie coming in would just be like, okay, let me just get a hang of it, have both my hands and all my freaking my fingers to grab a guy and be successful. And he's coming in his first couple of practices and saying, fuck it. Like, no, I want to wear gloves. Like, I'm not trying to just succeed. I'm not trying to just pass or just kind of keep my head above water. Like, I'm trying to really get thrown into the fire and succeed. So I like that. Great mindset. Really, really like Sauce and what he's about. And again, he mentions that he knows they call holding much more in the NFL. And obviously Sherman mentioned that to him as well. So the mitts thing was actually kind of a bigger story than I thought it would be. Just hearing that the fact that he brought that up to the coach is really awesome. So other than that, Breece Hall, he brought up Le'Veon Bell and Arian Foster in terms of guys he watched because of their patience, which I think that there's a relatively good comparisons in terms of how patient he is behind the line of scrimmage. And he also mentioned Kamara, which I could see, a guy who's a good pass catcher, a guy who's a little bit more powerful than some think, but also very shifty. I don't love player comparisons, but it is nice to see that he kind of recognizes what his game is like. And if he can be anything close to Kamara, that would be fantastic because Kamara is one of the better running backs in the NFL, if not one of the best. A couple more notes here. I got 4 more little notes. I'm in the chat, and then we'll see where we go for us tonight. Mosley, he was asked if last year was his best year because of his tackles, and it's something that Kyle and I said to you last week. Like, you cannot judge a guy based on tackles in terms of how good they are, whether it be safety, linebacker, corner, and honestly, corners and definitely more corners and safeties. But if I'm looking at a game log for a guy online, when I'm going to go watch him, I'm like, okay, let's just say it's DJ Reed, 7-8 tackles in a game. I'm like, oh, he probably got beat a lot. Like, that's not good. So obviously, it's a lot different for linebacker. But overall, like, judging guys on tackles, like, oh, well, this guy had 180 tackles, he had 170 tackles. It was a great year. Paul Posluggamy had like 1,000 tackles a year, and he was never hyped. He was never like the Hall of Fame Pro Bowl type guy. Like, I think he had a Pro Bowl maybe a time or two, but tackles aren't everything. Trust me. We've had plenty of guys getting 12 tackles a year or a game who suck. So he mentions that. And he said he basically mentioned that tackles could be both a good and a bad thing. And I just kind of wanted to mention that because Kyle and I brought that up the other day in terms of just tackles not being everything, and Moses did the same thing. It's not something you should rely on in terms of how good a guy is. And I've seen plenty of it, even like David Harris and all that stuff over the years. So a couple of other things. Saleh, He acknowledged Wilson struggled as a rookie, which is obvious. But he came out and said it, which I think Wilson knows it. Obviously Saleh knows it as well, but it's kind of nice to hear him acknowledge that they want to get much better play. And he mentions that Zach Wilson doesn't have to be Brady this year, which he doesn't, and don't put that pressure on him. I think if he could be just an average level quarterback this year, the Jets team and the Jets offense can really carry him into being a very successful offense. So just be consistent with your reads, be consistent with your footwork, be consistent with your conflict climbs, be consistent with your accuracy, and then get those 3 or 4 big shots a game, and you're doing all you need to do, So, and he also brought up in his interview in terms of Saleh, he brought up in his interview that the team is young offensive line, or some young offensive line pieces, young running backs, young receivers who are still gelling together. And to me, listen, I want the Jets to start out fast, but you're talking about a team who just being maybe the bearer of bad, I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news, but just look at it realistically. You have a team who's doing very light practices, who struggled against the run last year, who's very young. They're going to take time to adjust. The Jets in week 1, 2 are not going to be the same Jets as week 16, 17, 18. Obviously injuries and all that stuff, but they're going to be a much better team later in the season because they are young. They're one of the younger teams in the NFL. So they're going to take some time. AVT at right guard, and Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson playing in his first game. Even Uzama and Conklin's their first game as Jets. Rucker, there's plenty of youth, so they're going to take some time. There's going to be some ups and downs, and look at it. Look at Moore last year to start the year. Didn't play well at all. So what happens if some of those guys? What happens if Garrett Wilson starts slow? What happens if AVT starts slow, moving to the right guard spot? There is that possibility. So I want fans to be somewhat realistic. Saleh also praised Wilson on his process, his feet, his eyes, his understanding of the offense, which are all great. That's the things I want to hear. I don't care about him hitting a 50-yard ball to Jeff Smith on a rollout. That stuff only comes about a time or two a game. I want to see Saleh, and we've been mentioning, the footwork, the processing, what he was supposed to see mentally, all this stuff. And he talks about it. He talked about Wilson in terms of he makes a mistake, and he tells the coaches what the mistake was. He already knows what it was. I was supposed to hit this read. I was supposed to come off this read earlier. Okay, I thought it was cover 3 and it was cover 4. I should have went here quicker. He's already doing that type of thing. Or that's what Saleh's saying he's doing, which is more important than, again, maybe missing a throw in the red zone. That's the more important thing. So they're feeling comfortable with his understanding and his actual technical side of the game. So other than that, from Saleh, he does mention that he feels that Fant is being discredited, which again, mentioning, Becton left tackle is going to get it. I get it. Fant also deserves a shot at that spot. And if he does, then kudos to him. Other than that, Becton saying he's going to make datters eat their words. We talked about that a little bit, and that's really about it. I have the other note in here. Gotta watch Becton, Wilson, Moore, Garrett. Oh, the interviews. Yeah, I gotta watch Becton, Wilson, Moore, Garrett Wilson, and I will talk about that next week. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. All right. Sorry, I'm behind. Okay. Oh, we got some naked sex chats and stuff in here. Sweet. Who's gonna be the person who's gonna click on it? Maybe it's good stuff. Maybe they're serious. But we got 2 super chats, I think. I'm going to go to those first. Sneakers to Boots, $20 super chat. Really, really appreciate that. Sneakers to Boots for sure. Great job in the film room. Here's the computer fund. You used to go to Camelback when I was in college. You happy if Zach throws 20 touchdowns and 11 interceptions? Okay, so let's hit it for one by one. Thank you for the compliment on the film room stuff. Definitely appreciate it. And the computer fund, well, thank you. It's coming soon. Used to go to Camelback when I was in college. I went to Camelback for years and years. I probably went a lot, every single year from when I was 5 to almost 21-ish. But I haven't been in years because, again, academy and all that stuff, I can't risk breaking my knee because the thing of the snowblades too is the little snowblades. If regular skis, they pop off if you fall off, but the snowblades, because they're meant to be in the terrain park, they don't pop off because you don't want to pop off when you're grinding or hitting a box. And so they're risky. They're a little bit more risky. I would say sneakers to boots, I'm not happy with that, to be completely honest. It's a little bit low. I want to see a little bit more production in terms of touchdowns. Again, what was the process? Did they run for more touchdowns? Did they get tackled at the 1 yard line a bunch of times? People have mentioned that stat. Does that happen? Okay, a little bit of a different story. But I would like to see, I think 60% is kind of the old timer like that was the old number that you want to hit. I think now with a short passing game, all that, I think you want that number to be more at like 64, 65. So the completion percentage is a little bit low. I think after last year, him being like mid 50s or whatever it was, I think that's a nice jump. I wouldn't necessarily sign up for it. I want to see more, at least like 61, 62, 63. Again, I think 65, 66. Like 65 is like a nice number. Really, really, really nice number. I think I would sign, again, up for 62. 60 is a little bit low. 20, I want to see more like 23, 24, 25, 11 interceptions. Yeah, if I can modify that to like 62% completion percentage and 23 touchdowns, 11 picks, okay. I think 20 and 11, you're still going to have some questions going into year 3. But thank you for the super chat. And by the way, I don't know if you guys hear my dog bark in the background, but it's going absolutely wild. So, but thank you a lot. And Sauce, hold on. The Lord PT69, again, appreciate the super chat. Absolutely sneakers to boots. Thanks to Joe and the others. We're not forced to watch lazy analysts on TV. Appreciate you, Joe. Yeah, thanks a lot. And I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people don't like they watch the live streams and they watch like the podcasts or the appearances. Which again, I appreciate a lot of you guys. Like I'll go on Buffalo Jets fan or Let's Talk Jets or Ryan or Green Bean, and I'll like see you guys in the chat, like throwing the compliments out there and stuff. So you guys are really supportive of my stuff, so I appreciate it. And I know a lot of people. They don't even watch the film shows. They know enough that I know about the film where they at least have a respect for my opinion about that stuff. And then they don't necessarily like the process of watching the film. But for the people who watch that stuff and the live streams, really, really appreciate you. Really, really appreciate you. A lot of my stuff is behind paywalls at JetX. Not a lot of it's on YouTube. So a lot of people are watching it there. And again, subscription service. But for the amount of time I put into it, I'm okay with asking people for some money for it. It is what it is. It's $5 a month. Doing it for free for many years built up the hopeful credibility I have, and then that makes some people subscribe. So it is what it is. But I'm gonna keep moving up to the top. I appreciate all the comments in here. I'll run through them all. Oh, my dog is barking so much. Okay, keep going. Hold on. All right. Okay, sorry. I'm just finding out exactly where I'm in the chat right now. Do you think JFM was worth extending looking back on it? I do, Jaden Smith. I think he was misplaced as a D end. I think he's more of a guy who he's making his bread and butter as a defensive tackle, rushing from the interior. That's what his bread and butter is. When the Jets, when they signed him, maybe they thought they got him at a discount because ideally he isn't in the inside. Last year he was forced to play outside more. You're going to see him play to that price much more this year than last year because you have, Vinny Curry back, you have Carl Lawson back, you signed Martin, you have what's his face, Jermaine Johnson. So he's going to make a much larger impact this year, and he will be worth that price. Andrew, Joe, and everyone, I'm out. I hope you all have a blessed night. Work, unfortunately, comes early. Yes. Appreciate you, Andrew, and good luck at work. Hope you get some good sleep. I never sleep. Is what it is. Hell yeah, Katra legend. Katra awesome. Andrew. Okay. Oh, we don't have a moderator. So somebody's got to be. I got to throw an extra. Verge, are you a moderator yet? I think you are a moderator, right? If not, Verge, I'm going to make you a moderator. I think I'm going to make Happy Tanking a moderator too. I need some more mods. I trust a lot of you guys. I see a lot of you guys in here all the time. Even like Nathan, Tanking, Verge, like a lot of you guys are in here. I need some mods just to get rid of this shit. Sometimes like Eagle and Mike and all that stuff aren't in here. So, but Naked HD XYZ, we have more cheap sex. If you're paying for sex, is that a thing you want to risk being cheap? Like, is that like gas station sushi, like online cheap sex? Like, wouldn't we want like a hooker to be $2,000, $3,000, $4,000? Like, if it's like $100, like, aren't you concerned? That's me. I don't know. I'm not a pro on buying hookers though. So let's see. Okay. Love the initiative by Sauce. Yeah, Sauce. I'm a big fan of his mindset. Snickers and Boots, passing your super chat again. Really appreciate that. So that's awesome news about Sauce Hall of Fame. Yeah. Is that Sauce on PFF? I don't know, Max, what it was hosted on, but if you just look up Sauce Gardner, Richard Sherman. It's like a 40, 50-minute interview, maybe something like that. That fan is really moving. It is. It's hot in here. I'm freaking sweating. See, hands are clammy because it's so hot in here because it's stupid freaking summer. It's stupid season. Summer season. Okay. Hold on. I'm just trying to like read your stuff really, really quickly, guys. Fan has always shown durability and position change flexibility before he came to the Jets. Yeah, durability. He obviously didn't play as many snaps as some other guys who were his age, but yeah, he's always been healthy. And having a guy who could play left tackle and right tackle is obviously good. So, Ellie, Becton seems pissed, but I agree Salah should make him work for it because Fan did a heck of a job. Yeah, like if you're gonna preach competition, you can't just have a guy who was a team leader last year, captain, doesn't open his mouth, played well, and just say, hey, you played really well, Becton. Just by principle, you get your job back at left tackle. Fan was signed here to be a left tackle. He was successful. He's exceeded many people's expectations. You can't just give his job away. Make Becton earn it back. Don't just give it to him. If anything, like for lack of a better term, because I hate this term, but like iron sharpen iron. Let Becton be sharpened. If he doesn't deserve it, he doesn't deserve it. Let the best man win. I want the best guy playing left tackle. If anything, it should light a fire under Becton and not let him feel complacent. So Dakota Whitehead will be a problem this season in the backfield. Tackles for losses, yes, we're going to have that. It's not a Jamal Adams type impact, but a Jamal Adams type impact in terms of a safety blowing up a run play for 3 yards per loss or negative 3 yards. We don't really see that last couple of years without Adams. So Dennis, you and Matt O'Leary would be a kick-ass show. You both know player talent. That would be a great weekly show. I've never collabed. Well, I did a Jets panel a couple times with Matt. Never individually with Matt, I don't think. So from never doing it to a weekly show, large leap. But yeah, we can collab. We can do something. I'm sure eventually do something. Again, it's not like I don't do a lot of collabs on my show. Just because it's a lot of like film centric stuff, and like I'm not gonna try to dive into film with a lot of people. Really, again, I guess that's why I bring like Kyle on, Marcus on, Robbie on, obviously Mike for the analytical stuff, and like Eric McMillan brought on Jamal Westerman. I think we broke down Zuniga, I think. So I don't really bring people on the show, but I would always do something with him. It's not for like lack of like, oh, I don't bring people on. It's just what the show is. So the Lord PT, I love the Whitehead signing. He was brought here to stop the run. We were going to be good, and everyone is going to be shocked except for our fans. To be honest, Lord PT, I would bet that more fans. I would say that out of the 100 people in here, I would say more people are concerned that we're going to struggle against the run than people who are optimistic. Again, what changed from last year? They lost Foley. I get they added Jermaine Johnson. They got some guys back, but it's not a good run-stuffing group. That's to me the weakness of the defense. So Solomon Thomas. Going to do a film review on him, by the way, too, guys. So that'll be much later in the offseason. Next, you will be getting, the Ruckerts, the Jermaine Johnsons, all those guys, and then like the bigger free agents, Reed, Tomlinson, etc. But Solomon Thomas is being worked on as well. So Dennis, why has no one signed JPP? He would be a great 1-year sign. For another team, sure. I don't know how productive he was last year with the Bucs, but for another team, I would look into it. For the Jets, you don't want to. At a certain point, how many DNs can we have? We're gonna have like 7 DNs on the roster. Like not even like. Rose up. Okay. Joe, I think Zach should pass between 27 and 35 touchdowns. 32 is my guess. Break the record for the Jets. 4,050 yards to 4,600 yards. My guess is that. Okay. So Harold, I think this could happen in a year or two. To me, the Jets are going to rely too much on their run game. They're going to rely too much on their run game to be throwing for 4,200 yards. Again, I don't think it's crazy. Like if you broke down the yards per game, I don't think it'd be as crazy as maybe I'm thinking it is, in my brain right now, because the Jets don't ever have quarterbacks who produce. But Possible. I wouldn't bet on numbers that high. I would say if I had to like gun to my head, 25 touchdowns, 3,998 yards, 11 picks. I don't know. That's about where I'm at. It's hard to pick stats. I'm not a big stats guy. By the way, Kyle and I are going to have some shows coming up. We're going to do stat revisitation of last year. We're going to do top 25. We're going to do 53-man roster prediction. We're going to do a bunch of like topic shows the next couple of weeks. I have them all written down. Actually, let's see. It doesn't matter. I can tell you guys now. We have expectations for the younger players. We have stat predictions from last year, top 25 players, top position groups. We're ranking Jets fantasy players. We're doing award predictions, superlative show. We're doing a 53-man roster prediction. We're doing Jets versus the AFC East show. We're doing top 25, and I'm going to bring on guys from the Dolphins and Bills and Pats. Maybe Mark Schofield for the Pats. I'll probably bring on if he'll do it. I'm sure he would. So let's move on. Gas station sushi. You love a show between Matt, Joe, Green Bean, and Ian on a weekly show. Okay, so I got weekly shows lined up. We'll see. Verge Tibbs, you'll do mod stuff. Cool. I will throw you on there. I think Fan can tap into his athleticism more, be a little bit better in the run game this year. Yeah, his athleticism works best in the Jet system because it's the outside zone system, which again, is much more about positional versus physical leverage, and he, being a good athlete, is much more prone. He's much better at getting the positional leverage in terms of or that versus physical leverage, like in terms of like angle blocking, driving a guy down the field. The zone system is much more about getting in front of guys. So I don't think he'll ever be great in the run game because he's not the biggest dude, he's not the strongest dude, but his athleticism is a perfect fit for the system. So competition breeds excellence and makes everyone better. Yeah, true. How about monthly show? Sure, I'll do it. There was that one week I did like 4 collabs, but I could do a monthly show. Ryan from Jets Talk's having a baby, right? Or I don't know if he had a baby already, but I used to go on his show or I typically go on his show like once a month. I used to do Play Like a Jet a lot more than I do now. Obviously, they have their own guys, their own website. When I was doing a lot of Play Like a Jet, we were both on TOJ. And obviously, he's going to be with the guys on his website. And I'm really hard to do a strict schedule with, like, for me, doing any show strictly this time at this day every week is just so hard because my schedule rotates and I work midnights. It's not like I work Monday through Friday 9 to 5. So I'm kind of difficult to do that stuff with. Happy tanking. Joe, do you notice that some of our really good players from the recent past are coming back to the building now? I noticed that they weren't around with Coach Gase in the building. Yeah, I don't think you, being a Kotri, being whoever has come back recently, Revis, they want to come to a team who has no hope, who's under a coach who nobody likes. So yeah, I think the environment is more inviting to players to come back. So hopefully we sign Larry O. Completely agree. Foley was a good run stopper, but that's about it. Hopefully Nathan Shepard steps up, but I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't bank on Nathan Shepard stepping up last year. A lot of penalties. Foley was not the best pass rusher. My problem with Foley last year, Deli, I don't know if you've been here for a while. My problem is, and I get the Jets being a young team and wanting to implement the system and just going kind of trial by fire, only doing what your system asks. But at the same point, Foley is a really good 2-gapper, it's not just 4-3-3-4. Okay, the one only 2 gaps, one only penetrates. Bill Belichick was famous for hybrid fronts, and some guys penetrate, some guys 2-gap. And with Foley, when you're struggling that much against the run, was it really necessary to make him just try to penetrate? You couldn't 2-gap him sometimes. Is a problem I had with the defense last year. So I hope they're a little bit more flexible in the past. Jets going back to ground and pound. The 2 tight ends will get the bulk of the targets. I think that in terms of like who will get the most share of targets, I think Elijah Moore, Corey Davis will see more than the tight ends. I think that you probably even say Breece Hall will get more than the tight ends, but they're going to be much more involved than they were in the past with guys, we've been running out there the last couple of years. Kellen Davis, Kellen Winslow, and Austin Safarian-Jenkins was like a savior. He got like 400 yards. Wesco, all these guys. So yeah, it's going to be more, they're going to be more emphasized for sure. Zach Wilson will throw for 3,600 yards, 26 touchdowns with 14 picks. I'm cool with the touchdowns and with the yards. I would like to see that like drop 2 picks. 14 is a little bit high for me. So, Dakota, see, I love the Jets since I was a little kid. I just want all of us to witness the Jets win the second Super Bowl and hush up a lot of the league. I want to be unbearable. The Jets win a Super Bowl, unbearable. So, throwing any last second comments, and then I'm going to bounce out of here. I'll answer whatever, and I'm gonna get out of here. I don't want to get too dry, and it's already 10:25. So, based on a 52 to 48 pass to run ratio, average teams run 64 plays per game, 33.5 passes and 30.5. Hold on. 52% to 48%. So you're saying 33 passes per game. Yeah. So to me, with that, Harold, I think there's gonna be some games though that Zach Wilson's throwing like 18 to 20 times. Like I think there's gonna be some games where they're playing bad defensive lines where they're not gonna ask him to throw the ball a lot. So I think there will be some games where he's seeing 30, 31, 32. But I think the run to pass ratio will be more like 57 to 43. Like I don't think it's gonna be almost like that's a little bit too close to 50-50 for me. But I don't think what you're saying is unrealistic. I really don't. ASA was a steal. He was good for us, but the fact that he was our best tight end since Dustin Keller, and then from Dustin Keller to Chris Baker, and from Chris Baker to Schuler, like we have not had good tight ends for a very long time. So let me see what you got. We got the sex spot back. That's great. If anybody's looking for some action, go there. Cool. I probably shouldn't get these off. All right. Just promoting their stuff. They're working hard. They're bots. Maximilian, take it easy, Joe. Stay safe. Appreciate that. Deli, I've been here, broski, for a while. We used to go back and forth about Fields and Wilson. Shout out to you being a fellow graveyard shift. Yeah, is what it is. Graveyard shift sucks a little bit, but there's benefits and positives to everything. Listen, you work day shift, you're gonna have a lot more traffic. You're getting a lot more people. Night shift sucks, but there's some nights where you're not really doing much, and it's kind of great. So, but back and forth about Fields and Wilson. Yeah, I went back with playing. It went from Darnold and arguing about Darnold right into other quarterbacks with Wilson versus Fields versus Lance versus Mac Jones. It's like just terrible. So I'm so happy we don't have to talk about that stuff right now. Cumberland was okay. Yep. Baker to Schuler. Baker who was the best? Are you saying it's criminal, like that's bad, or who was the best tight end from Baker to Schuler? Like who was in the middle there? I was born in '93. I really started watching mid 2000s. So I don't know. You're thinking old NFL. No one runs more than they pass. If we have a good offense, this is. Yeah, Harold. Like, so the thing is for me, I suck at predictions, like stat predictions. So that's just not my thing. You've been listening for plenty long. That's just not what I'm comfortable with. So it's kind of hard for me to always like pinpoint stuff. I really have to sit down and like look up stats and think about it and think about all of the offense and stuff. So yeah, that might be old NFL, but I can almost guarantee there's gonna be some games where the Jets are going to throw the ball 22, 24 times and they're going to control the ball on the ground. I really do think that. So let's see. I would love it in Seattle. Trying to recruit me to Seattle. Rainey, Jamal Adams. I don't know. I can help you moderate when I'm here, but as you know, I don't always catch the show live. I try to do Joe though, or I tried to though. Joey Rock, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm gonna throw some more mods in here. Verge Tibbs, Happy Tanking. Anybody else who wants to be, who's always in here, just throw it out there, and I'll go back and or maybe Happy Tanking. If you can comment on the video after, you and Verge can comment just so I remember, because I can't remember everything all the time. I'll make you mods though. I need some mods. The timeline of not having a receiving tight end, Stonehand's back to was in between. Yeah. Happy Tanking. We had a good conversation for like 2 hours before you got here. Good defense makes the QB job easier. Okay. Yes. I appreciate you guys again. I am recording Jermaine Johnson, Jeremy Ruckert, and Garrett Wilson all by Sunday. Right after that, I'm going to have Michael Clemens, Max Mitchell coming out, and then Tomlinson, Reed, Uzama, Conklin, etc. are all going to be hitting your computer screens by the time preseason rolls around. I'm going to be putting out like 2 videos a week for the next couple of weeks. Solomon Thomas, there's going to be so many reviews coming. So I appreciate you guys, and I will see you soon. As always, you guys kill it on the solo chats. I literally come into here with pretty much no topics, and you guys are on the show. So you got this is all you. So I literally couldn't do it without you. The support, the super chats, the support to the website. It really means a lot. So I appreciate all of you guys, and I'll talk to you soon.